Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by my friend, my duo, my companion, Ben JDC. Ben, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Tom. A great Saturday full of matches, 5 matches. A lot of teams went home. We have 4 teams left. And honestly, between all 4, I think you can make a case that any one of them can win the event tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, today was another just a long day of COD. Like a super long day. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, right? We're doing the show right after the games, and New York obviously just went round 11 with Faze, game 5, and my heart was pumping, bro. So I just feel like so much energy was just sucked out of me watching that. It's just, bro, so many emotions watching that back, especially that round 11. It was just so back and forth, and obviously we're going to talk about it. But, Ben, I agree. Just a long, long day of COD and so many matches to talk about. Ben, I actually bought a notebook today.
I like that.
I went to the store.
You want to show on stream?
Yeah, look, I got pages. I got absolute pages. I got about I got about 3 or 4 pages, guys, of notes, right? I got about 3 or 4 pages. We took some notes today because, you know what, all these matches, like, I just feel like I'm losing track of things. I just feel like when we're watching them back, I just forget about certain things.
Yeah,
so, you know, I figured I'd go to the store, get a little notebook, and write some stuff down. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it helps. Hopefully it helps. There's a few things that people were saying about the show yesterday. Listen, guys, I understand the skipping through maps really fast is frustrating sometimes, but at the same time, if we don't skip through maps and we just sit there and talk about every little tiny thing about a map, then we're going to be here for 5 hours. And nobody wants to watch a 5-hour show.
No one's going to listen to our audio version of the show.
Nobody,
on YouTube,
so. It's just not going to make any sense. So I think the notebook will help a lot because I wrote down some key parts of certain maps. And, you know, we'll show the most important things and we'll talk about the most important things. And you already know the vibe. We got a big 20 bomb coming in the chat by Imanji. I appreciate the big 20. You're an absolute beast. I appreciate you showing love. You guys know I won't be shouting out any subs during the show. Just keep it free flowing. But, Ben, let's just hop right into it. Let's get through these matches. Let's talk about them. But what a fucking day. What a day.
Yeah, I mean, we start off with London versus Thieves. Not really much. If you want to pull up the gameplay, I don't think really much to take home from the vetoes here. We know these teams like to play this set. And look, Tom, I mean, we'll kind of go into this game right away. I think ultimately what happened here, the London Magic kind of ran out. I want it, and you'll probably agree with me, want to give a lot of credit to the London boys. The last 2 weeks have really shown fight in the team. And you and I were very critical of the roster change with Zap. They've grinded together. They developed some chemistry. They beat a lot of pretty good teams, and they made themselves relevant as a team.
Yep.
They still have a lot of work to do to get top 8 in champs, but the starting point is set, and from there they just got to continue to improve.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, London, they have been showing a lot of improvement throughout the last few weeks. Now going into this 100 Thieves match, we both had London winning it just because of what they've been showing. But to be honest, 100 Thieves, they came out to play this first series. They just came out and absolutely mopped them. We saw a couple 3-0s today, right? So just to see 100 Thieves coming out and just doing what they do best and just coming out and frying it. Hook looked great in this first series. Kenny looked great. Yeah. They just seemed like they were all on form. This first map, there wasn't really much. It was pretty back and forth off the rip. London trolled a P3 a little bit, where they just kind of flipped out, and 100 Thieves was able to just make a run and just kind of take the lead away from this game. And it was a good match, man. A good way to start off the day.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just watch it here and then we'll move to the next map. But, you know, at this point, they had kind of chalked the last 2 hills. They really needed the 60. You know, we've talked about this kind of situation, Tom. Like, when you spread out like this and you space out, especially on P3 on Garrison, like, you need to play off each other to guarantee you get the back spawns, but also, like, so you don't die early so you can't hold your cam. And they get in that situation where they all die because they're just holding the P4 side and not really playing deep in P3. And then it's basically Shawnee versus the world in the back. He dies.
They trolled.
At that point, they trolled, and Thieves kind of go up by essentially 100 points at this point.
100 Thieves just does a good job pushing off that P2 time early enough to where they can get the kills and spawn London out. London just end up losing the fights. They kind of pushed up a little bit too far, I think. I think if they would have backed up and just kind of played their lives a little bit, they could have really brought this game back. But I think after that, Ben, this map was over. 100 Thieves, they came out hot. It was a Kenny and Hook show to kick things off. They started frying. Drowza and Venom start picking up the pace towards the end, and just a good first map from 100 Thieves. But then we get into the second map. We go into Express S&D. And again, this was another good one. Came all the way down to the wire, but again, 100 Thieves end up clutching up this one. Ben, anything that caught your eye here?
It was kind of early. So actually, let me go back around here. So Thieves went up 5-2 kind of early in this map. trolled a little bit. They end up winning round 11. London are pretty good this map. I mean, we watched them play it a lot. I feel like the teams that have really good like team chows and team chemistry, like London, New York, are like really good at just taking like map control well on this. And London did a good job kind of adjusting on back-to-back defenses in an attacking round to go ahead and force round 11 here. So we'll kind of skim through. We're watching round 8 right now. Just some really good team chows, a good retake from London.
Yep.
I want to go to round 9, and they just do a really good job in kind of a situation where Thieves kind of set up for the pinch around B, sort of give it up, where they just kind of take 2v2 team chows. Okay, we isolate a guy in one of the tunnels. Let's chow him with 2 guys. If we get traded, so be it. If we get the gunfight, great. We're in a 4v3. And they just kind of wait Thieves out, force Thieves to make mistakes. They kind of overpeak a little bit. London gets the bomb down, and they win the round.
For sure, we see a lot more teams doing that over at this B-bomb site. They're starting to figure out ways to break it, and you see a lot of people hitting long routes, trying to figure out ways to pinch people in, just kind of pin teams in that corner of the map, right, in that on that B site, and just kind of come from all angles, basically. So just a good job by 100 Thieves to end up closing this one out, because you're right, Ben. They went up. And they started laughing, right? They were cutting back to 100 Thieves. They were all laughing. Yeah. They were all smiles. They were up 5-2. They smoked them first map. And then London, they end up bringing it all the way back 5-5, and then things get a little mixy. It went to around 11. It got a little bit scary. I thought 100 Thieves was gonna bottle this one, but it ends up closing out with Kenny left in a 1v1 situation, and he ends up just putting it away. Ben, just a good map from 100 Thieves and good composure for them to close it out.
Round 11, I think what ended up basically the classic B hard counter. We're all just gonna kind of go for it here.
It got mixy. It got really mixy.
Yeah.
It ended up, Kenny failed his slide in this 5-5 round. He almost overextended by accident with his slide, but luckily they didn't pick him up. Paul X ends up getting a big 2-piece, but Kenny ends up picking up a trade. I'm not sure what Shawnee was doing when he stood across right there.
Because I think this is the play where I felt like Shawnee could have just kind of held in tunnel, because number 6 was coming off from top. Like they had the cross basically deep if they wanted to play it. Obviously, I don't know if they know anyone from Thieves' middle. There's no one from Thieves' middle. So maybe they're kind of a little scared. But yeah, if Shawnee doesn't really slide here and take this wide chow, they can kind of hold this 3v2. Instead, it gets into kind of a 2v2. Number 5, it was Paul X makes kind of a risky play, and it just is down to Zap and Kenny in the 1v1.
Yep, and it's just a good play by Kenny. I like the way he played this, how he wrapped all the way back. He was just kind of playing his life. He played the outskirts of the map, and he just ends up getting eyes on Zap. I don't think Zap expected him to take this route and just wrap back to his spawn. But he ends up just sliding off the train, picking up the 1v1, and 100 Thieves end up going up 2-0. And then we go into a third map, Ben, which is kind of where 100 Thieves close it out. We'll let you kick it off with that one. We actually have Parasite, who'll be joining us today for the show as well. So I'm gonna drag him in here right now.
User was moved
Parasite,
to your
what's going on, buddy?
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Always good to have you on the show. Appreciate you coming on. Welcome to the flank. A lot of people love having you on and just hearing your input.
Hey, thanks, brother.
So right now we're just talking about the 100 Thieves London map match.
Can I get a link?
Give him a link. We already went through the first couple of maps, but now we're on the checkmate control. And again, 100 Thieves just able to win it 3-0 here. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a better series, but it did get a little mixy. I think if London would have won that S&D, that second map, this series would have been a lot better. But at the end of the day, you got to give credit where credit is due. And 100 Thieves, they came out to play.
Yeah, London actually ended up kind of winning, I think, their second offense here. If I remember correctly, they get a pretty much an instant B cap, and they get a lot of ticks on A, and they're able to collapse. Thieves, though, end up winning back-to-back rounds. We'll skim through quickly on the offensive round here. And then I kind of want to watch the 5th round because I felt like there's sort of some missed opportunities from London there. I don't know if you've noticed this a lot, Parasite, but I feel like I'm watching a lot of teams on offense just like not really come off a spawn having a good game plan to like. I know it's difficult to break the spawn trap, but when they break the spawn trap, I oftentimes see that teams really aren't trying to get plane control. I don't know what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, I think it's important that you wrap essentially whatever side you don't spawn on and you clear it out. But it's just a hassle because you have to clear your spawn out. If you don't clear your spawn out when you're 4 wiped like that, there's 0 chance you're getting out of your spawn. But then after that, realistically, it just comes down to where you get kills. Getting plane is great, but like if you get kills on a lane, you can just like play the lane and force the plane players to come out. So like there's different ways of playing it, but I would definitely like to see these guys play plane more for sure. On this one,
bro. London ended up choking this map kinda. I feel like they definitely trolled toward the end of this map. I mean, 100 Thieves at the last second was able to just get a bunch of kills and just stack onto this point, but They just kind of gave their lives away. They solo chowed. They ended up going 3-4 dead, I think it was, and then the stacks came in and just called it a day. And I mean, it's just like that in control. Like in the blink of an eye, it can all fall apart, which is why you got to be really careful, especially towards the end of games, that you play your life and stay alive. Because if you guys go 3-4 dead, you're done. They're going to stack the point and it's over just like that. We see teams time and time again stack points and it goes up in seconds.
Yeah,
So,
of course. If what you were talking about just now, where like you said they all died at once. What I would have liked to see people do more, and a lot of people kind of just like tunnel vision, they don't actually think about this, but if you have plane control, right, and you're pushed up towards P2 like Zed was, and you'll see it whenever the round ends, you can actually crossfire. So if a player plays around front P2, they can see the entire Tetris cross, right? And the player that's top plane, he can also see their P2 yellow crate cross. So if you crossfire like that, you're basically guaranteed to get kills or guaranteed to get the proper information without throwing away your life in their spawn. And I think that's where they failed to actually capitalize on the fact that they had everyone in their base. I think Zed solo chowed, then somebody else died right after, and then it just spiraled out of control towards the end of this game.
I mean, even here, right, like they get all the kills, and Shawnee's just kind of like A Street, just kind of slow playing it, just pre-aiming, like getting A's. Like he had an opportunity there to just push up and just kind of get in their spawn and just kind of be a nuisance and just hold the cross, like you said, like that front P2, hold the cross, get eyes. It's just they didn't capitalize on their kills. They got to make use of their kills. You see a lot of teams, they get kills, but they don't do anything off of their kills, right? Like when you get kills, that's when you want to make your moves, you want to make your plays. You just want to make those kills useful. Because if you're getting kills and you're not doing anything with them on the map, then you're just getting useless kills. And we see a lot of teams do it. We see a lot of players do it, and they get into a bad habit. But it definitely costed them there at the end. Ben, I see that you paused this. Is there anything that you want to talk about here?
Yeah, I want to talk about sort of how this unfolds at the end. So Zed gets into base, and they do a really good job slaying out Thieves. And then here I felt like they kind of trolled. Paul gets pinched from the back. They get 3-piece, and very quickly their spawn trap kind of falls apart. Last guy kind of pushed inside plane. I think he ends up dying getting team shot here. And at this point, like, it's 5v5 in lives. And just no coordination out of London. We've talked about this all the time, Tom, when teams stack this point. Things get kind of nervous. And just a good composure from Thieves to stick through the spawn trap, get the important kill, stack the point, and go ahead and close out the 3-0.
Yep, just a good play by 100 Thieves. They're all smiles, and we'll talk about their series later when we get to it. But things definitely fall apart for them a little bit later down the line. But we go into the next series. We have Dallas Empire going up against OpTic Chicago. And listen, I'm going to kick things right off and just say that, one, Dallas, their struggles continue. They just don't seem like the same team to me. And I saw people commenting on my video yesterday on the show saying, you're such a Dallas hater, this and that. I love the guys at Dallas. I just don't think they've been playing well. So I'm just going to be honest with it. Then I saw people saying in my comments, you're not writing OpTic all the time, this and that. I'm not writing OpTic all the time. Actually, last week, I went against OpTic and said 100 Thieves was going to beat them on Hector's pre-show. On his own pre-show, I said that they were going to lose, which they ended up losing. And the only thing that I've been saying the last couple of days is that OpTic needs better teamwork, and they need to start playing together more. And if they just work off each other and they work on their little things and their fundamentals, they're going to be a really good team. And today they did that, and they looked way better today.
It also helps that Brandon literally has played really freaking good this series.
He played
every single map.
Today, the whole day he fried.
That's what they needed. Like he's been their superstar player for a very, very long time. And when he was producing, that's when they were playing their best. And now he's producing. You guys see that they're obviously going to win series.
100%.
I noticed that I don't know if he was running Red Dot before, but he was running Millstop today, and I swear he wasn't running that before. So I don't know if that switch has helped him out.
Really? Did he switch his site? That's interesting. If he actually did.
Yeah, and I think he plays. I think he plays independent or affected. So like he's going to the awakening route, where like you play independent and run the Millstop rather than playing the micro, because the micro is really good on independent and stuff affected.
Yeah,
interesting. I mean, we could kick things off on first map as Garrison Hardpoint, and this was just the Dashy show. I mean, this guy was piecing.
Well, yeah, as we're watching the P3 right now, we'll get into a listen shortly with OpTic, and sort of that's when Dashy starts to go off. The P4, P5, P1. He gets the top green, just starts absolutely gunning everybody in the middle of the map, gets streaks, and OpTic kind of running up on the next couple of hills.
Yep, just a good job by OpTic. One thing that I want to note with Dallas is their slang. It's just not there. But we're going to go into a lesson in with OpTic Chicago and see how they sound.
Research fellow. No, loading dead. Absolute research.
Yo, rails.
Rails dead. Mid-text fellow.
Nice, 3 left.
Top green. Get
Yo, we still on the back.
I'm pushing on lights, right? I'm holding bottom mid.
What's top green? Ender?
Yo, I'm helping your bottom mid.
Top green, inner one shot dead. back
You're top green. I'm looking.
Yeah,
Top
bottom
green fellas. Top green fellas. Top green fellas.
I'm watching rails. I'm watching rails.
Lights
I have
trim.
rails
Dead.
I have rails.
Yeah, bottom in.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, bottom in. You grab
Push
time.
me
I'm holding rails. I'm holding rails.
Yo, B5 on me.
Hey, rails, shotsy. One shot rails.
Go back,
What's top green? What's gonna be top green?
One's rails.
What's top green fellas? Top green
No
fellas.
rails, shotsy dead.
Actually, I'm looking up here. I'll get top green.
No, light three under weak.
Let's
Cat
shoot.
stairs challenge. Cat stairs challenge.
I have top green.
You need me?
You're top green now? Grim?
Okay, catch here.
Dead.
This is the scump informal show in terms of comms.
Yeah.
I'm getting up.
One lights, one on the boxes.
On the
Yeah,
boxes,
cross,
Two lights. I'm looking top green. I'm looking top green, Brent.
on the boxes, not peeking.
I'm gonna
Can you get Tom close to
Yo,
Top
one
green.
light, one light,
I got it.
one light.
Top green.
Okay.
I don't see top green.
B5 on the boxes though.
One's lights.
Yeah,
I'll help you lights.
on the
I'll help you
boxes?
lights.
What's small?
I have lights. You can run.
Green shit
And
on.
lights. Dead. Three.
Nice,
Three.
nice,
Dead.
let's get them.
Time.
Yo, there's plenty.
I'm back.
Ali,
I'm blocking.
hurt. He's pushing up.
Is he going
Go,
up?
go right.
No,
I'm
he's
going
holding.
Yo, back bricks. I'm getting
I'm
outside.
going to no, same time. I agree. I'll probably.
Go right. Set.
Ali, hit him
And bricks.
I got it.
Yo, block.
Left side lights maybe. I just
One
went
flip,
one
one
bench,
flip,
one
one
bench.
flip.
I have back right.
Yo, only one flip. Only one flip.
Yeah, I have back right.
What's
Definitely
I'm in the back, I'm in the back.
What's Cat's there?
Gonna be lights on me. Gonna be lights on me.
Steph, leave it.
Well, Joe, what are the reasons we
I mean,
want
great comms from OpTic. They're very active. They're very energetic. They sound like they're a lot more confident. I mean, just seeing their gameplay and the way they're challenging stuff and moving around the map together, it just seems like they got their rhythm back. And that's exactly what you want to see. We talked about it yesterday with the LAG series when they just came out and ended up clutching up against them. It's what they needed. I think they just really needed that. And now it's showing today.
On top of go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I want to go back to what we were talking about. We will let the rest of this map play out because I'm sure all the OpTic fans in the chat want to kind of watch that shoot for the rest of this map. I want to jump into that conversation about Dallas, Tom. So I dug into the stats to kind of understand what's going on with the team, and I think there are a couple like key things. One is Shotzi's actually gotten better as the season's gone on. He's actually playing some of his best COD right now. The problem for him is Crim's numbers have slowly gone down and down. He ended this stage with below a 0.9 KD, which is not ideal. They had a really tough roll with Illy since the switch. His KD has gone down about a 0.1. And Fella's been okay, but ultimately his stats aren't lighting up the word either. So I think across the board, they have a couple of players that are just not in form. And it's just leading to these massive slaying deficits that they just haven't been able to overcome in the last series.
Yeah, of course, and that some of that goes back to just like throwing away setups. Like if you watch Dallas recently, a lot of the time they'll put themselves in the advantageous situation where the enemy team has to come for them in HP, and then they just get broken instantaneously. That's literally what happened to them on the P4 of this map, and that's just another story for OpTic. Apparently, who's echoing? Sorry.
It's Tom.
Sorry, I think there was a car accident outside. No bullshit. I heard something, but go ahead.
But anyway, so what I was saying was OpTic's story lately in HP has been them not being able to break hills, and for them to be able to break out of that hill, not like first try, was like big to see because they've been struggling in that department for a while.
Agreed.
That was kind of scary, guys. I see a lot of people talking in chat. It sounded like tires like screeching along the road, and then a boom. Like it literally.
Listen, Tom. Let's stay on track.
I'm sorry, that was just scary. Like it scared me. It fucking scared me. But I agree. But I mean, this first map was the Dashy show, and I agree with the Dallas problems in the slaying department. It's just a huge issue right now. You know what I'm saying? So what are you gonna do? But I think we should go into the second map. I think we should
jump straight into the second map.
I think we should jump into the second map. And one thing I want to talk about is the issues that we were having today. Listen, there is definitely some issues going on, right? There was some. Listen, I see a lot of people in the chat saying, "Go check, make sure everybody's okay." It came from the highway, guys, from deep. Like it's unless I go outside and go walk.
Tom's by a stretch for a couple different highways.
Yeah. I got a lot of highways by me. Yeah. Listen, guys, I'm sure if anything's going on down there, I'm sure people are getting help. But listen, the one thing that I want to talk about is just the server issues. There's been a lot of problems with people lagging out. We saw the pause feature come into play today. People were talking about that.
In this map, by the way.
Yep, in the second map. Definitely want to talk about that a little bit. What do you guys think about the pause feature? I kind of like it. I think it's really cool. I'm happy that we got it working, honestly.
Yeah, so I dug in, and apparently teams were notified about this a few weeks ago. That it's enabled for round-based mode. So you have it for control, you have it for S&D. There are some issues with it. Like I know Crim tweeted about it because Fella lags out, his kills go away, so it kind of screws up some of the tiebreakers. You wouldn't have that problem in control because it go by ticks, but for S&D, obviously, that's an issue. And I'm sure they'll want to work with the devs long term to try and figure out how to medic that feature. But ultimately, not having to reset and just kind of put a graphic on screen to like explain what the score is really key, and tippable to the devs for getting this feature out in the online version of this game.
Yep, we got a tweet coming in from Crim6. He said, GG's OpTic, these tech issues are fucking ridiculous, and 75% of them have happened to us this year. 2 of us near streaks, map 1. Spawn secured on Money Hill, game ends. Fellow got scan and repair in S&D, and got stuck in the map on 2 defensive rounds. Both rounds counted. Then he goes on to say, also...
Well, hold on. Can we, before you get to that,
okay.
To be fair to map 1, there's a video out there of formal spawning in and having no minimap. And Maddox tweeted about it afterwards that like it is a bug, it's super rare, and they have a tough time reproducing it. They actually haven't been able to reproduce it, and it's fixed with a restart. So I see Crim's point about the first part of the tweet, but it's not like OpTic was on fair ground there, considering one of their players didn't have a minimap in the top left of the screen.
Yep, and then he goes on to say, also the round 11 we had offense no matter what because Tyler's kills fucking reset when he rejoined. Not sure what side we would have had, but still, we played the round 10 for the win, and not because of kills due to this fucking insane scenes. We still played like ass though. Listen, I think he acknowledges that they played bad, right? He said it at the end right there. Now people are saying excuses, but at the same time, I feel like stuff that he's complaining about is pretty valid. But on top of that, what are you gonna do about it? Like, it is what it is. Like, shit happens. You're getting the shit end of the stick, and I think everybody in their career has gone time. Listen, I won a series on LAN once, so we got the loss for it. I literally won the fucking thing. It was in London when I was on Faze, and we won the map, and the game glitched and said we lost, and they said we can't go against the game. Like, we can't go against what the game said. Like, sometimes shit just hits the fan and things don't go your way. So yeah, Crim is bitching about stuff, and I see a lot of people spamming excuses, but at the same time, it's definitely frustrating when you're going through issues like this, especially online. But that's why I'm just excited to get back to LAN.
And to touch on that, Tom, if I cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
The only way a lot of the stuff gets changed, the devs that say don't complain on Twitter. You know, everyone says don't complain on Twitter, but traditionally, everything we've needed change or needed to like happen, all we did was complain on Twitter, and it happened. So it was we need to actually have like a lot of these issues posted, and people to realize that they're a problem, so they get fixed. Because a lot of the time they go under the radar if you don't.
Yep. No, 100%.
I can't blame Crim for that.
I can't blame him. I mean, it's definitely frustrating to play when there's just so many mistakes or so much shit that's just hitting the fan. But I mean, at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? And you also can't take away from OpTic because they looked great today. But we should talk about this map. We go into a checkmate S&D. One thing
talk about this round, Tom. This is the 1v4 round.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 1v4.
Go ahead, take it from here.
No, I was just gonna say the 1v4 from Shotzzy. And then he clutched up again on another round. So just big plays out of Shotzzy. He's just he's very quick on his feet. Like when he's in that plane, he's just moving around. He's very hard to kill. He's very active. But he ended up just making big plays in plane to keep this one close.
Checkmate is literally a Halo 5 map, and I will not be told otherwise.
What is it? Why do you think that? Just because of the wing hop-ups and the ladders and the mantles and just...
It's layered. It's just layered across the middle of the map. Like that's where you're going to see a player like Shotzzy shine, is around the plane, where he's just mantling, and like he's got that like cerebral awareness, you know, that like almost like personal UAV in his head, where he's just tracking player movements in and around him, and he's really good at finessing in there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. But I think that's the only reason why this map was kind of close. I mean, Shotzzy was just making big plays. I still think Illy's struggling. He struggled on this map. He struggled on the first map. To be fair, I feel like the whole squad is struggling right now, but I feel like Shotzzy is definitely the one guy in this team that's just showing some signs of life and just kind of trying to keep this team in it. This one went all the way down to the wire, and I'm pretty sure they ended up clutching up. Well, obviously, OpTic ended up clutching up, but it was very close.
Situation, I want to back up there for a second. I wonder if Scump got the call out for the wrong wing. The way he challenged that,
weird, right?
It's almost like he got confused which wing to challenge there.
Yeah. So I don't know what it was. I don't know if he got the wrong call out or he just didn't. Whoever died from him, so it was Formal who died. Just didn't call him out. But I doubt that. So maybe it was just the wrong call out. But something definitely happened there. There was definitely a miscommunication, and something hit the fan. And then at this point, I mean, he's just playing a corner, and he just ends up killing Dashy. I thought Dashy was gonna win this, honestly, but that pistol, man, what the fuck? I'm still mind blown though that pistols are this good. Like I personally think they shouldn't be that good. Especially because, you know, if you're a Krig player, you can have a Krig and then a back pocket fucking shotgun.
It's a two burst kill, but you have to hit like a majority of the burst. Like if the player's moving a lot of the time, it's not that good. But like with a Krig in plane like that, how like Dashy jumped, when he jumps in the air like that, he's like frozen in place. So that's like where he hit that initial burst, and that's why he died so fast.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. Ben, was there anything else that you want to talk about than some amazing plays by Shotzi? But OpTic, they were able to close this one out. I actually liked the way that OpTic was playing this map. Yeah, it went all the way down to around 11.
I want to talk about here. So you guys, this is the moment where Fellow gets scan and repair. You see he's kind of running in place on the back stairs. Ultimately, somehow, like 3v4. Actually, they even get a blood on Crim too. Somehow Dallas win this round. Not sure how that happens. And then we see the pause feature used.
Yeah, we see the pause feature used. They end up winning this round because Shotzi just makes a play again and he ends up staying alive.
Oh my god, that was disgusting.
Yeah, it was gross. I mean, watching him play is a lot of fun. He's definitely a lot of fun. But
his movement of play is unbelievable, dude. Like,
but that's what I'm saying.
There's that clip, Tom. I don't know if you saw it. He played like he was playing like 8 yesterday and absolutely smoked Illy in a clip. I don't know if you saw it.
He smoked his teammate. This guy
was hitting different on checkmate yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. But even that round, Ben, I mean, Fellow lagged down. They still won the round. They still won the. So I realize some of these things are kind of annoying to deal with, right? Like some of these problems. But at the end of the day, I mean, OpTic they do what they do and they end up clutching up. So I don't want to take anything away from them. But OpTic, they're down 5-4. They end up coming out hot. They win their defensive round and they take this to a round 11. And I love the way they played this round 11. And one thing that caught my eye in this round 11 was the win that Envoy had on A Street. I feel like if he didn't win this could have hit the fan really, really fast for them. Envoy ends up playing a little bit of a late hit. He played on that A bomb site a lot this map. Just kind of played corners. You saw Dallas trying to work up A a couple times, which I thought was really weird. They tried to sneak plant A one round. And I was just like, I don't know if that's going to work. But he tries to sneak plant A. Envoy ends up killing him. But then in this round 11, he plays the same spot. I think there was like a kill or two. Yeah, so Fella gets a kill in the plane. He ends up getting traded out by Scump. Big trade by Scump, by the way. And then if Envoy doesn't win this gunfight on A Street against Crim, I think it could have really hit the fan. But he wins the gunfight. They have numbers now. 3v2 situation. Instead of Envoy pushing and just giving away his life, he gets the kill. He backs up. He groups up with his team. And they end up using their numbers to push out the rest of Dallas. And just a good map by OpTic and good teamwork.
Good plays there. I wanted to touch on it because you guys skipped through this round, but the round before that, the other offense that Empire had, Shotzi got really, really unfortunate because he was he snuck onto the table with the bomb and they had no idea he was there, and he was probably under the impression they did, so he late challenged the inner cabin. I don't know if you guys watched it, where he late challenged the inner cabin. He actually choked the kill. Granted, 2 people were shooting at him.
In the 10th round.
Yeah, the round before that, he actually, I feel like he should have at least taken out one, or if not, he could have planted the bomb and had whoever was watching over him
we'll
help him
watch
out.
it here real quick and then we'll get to next.
So he's planning right now and he gets off it.
Yeah. Then bombs down in like the absolute worst spot.
Yeah, and you would think that he should have got at least a kill there. That's so fucking unfortunate for him,
Good trades from Dashy, and then it goes down to a 2v2.
Definitely unfortunate.
Crim's also making kind of a weird play here. Like, I kind of see what he was doing here, and it would have been set up nicely if they'd gotten bomb down. But ultimately, he's just kind of out of the action here, and it's just really tough at this point.
I see really I see a lot of people in my chat talking about accuracy and some of the stuff that he's tweeting about.
We'll talk about it after the matches.
I was gonna say we'll definitely get to it, guys. We have a lot of stuff to cover, okay? But at the end of the matches, we'll definitely break down a lot of the tweets that are coming out right now on the timeline, and we'll give our thoughts and we'll talk about it. But moving on, we go on to a third map. It's a control. It was raid control, and right off the rip, I mean, OpTic, they just come out hot. Their breakoff was on point. They end up getting that 8 point right away. It was just a good breakoff by them, and then Scumpy kind of opened it up for that B site. He ends up getting a big 3-piece over in money. So right off the rip, OpTic come out hot and just get a couple stacks on both these points and just do what they do best.
Tom, this checkmate's been a huge, not checkmate, control's been a huge problem for Dallas in this stretch. I believe they have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 controls in a row. Just of a team of their caliber, you just can't be putting yourselves in that hole in map 3, especially if you're losing the first 2. I think it's going to be something they're going to focus on going into stage 4.
This might be a haggy stat, but I don't think I've ever I swear I tune in every once in a while when I can, because obviously I'm competing a lot of the time, but I don't think these guys have won a break off like first round of control like ever. I swear, I'm not even kidding. Every time I watch them, it just seems like they lose their break off and have to fight out of a hole every time I've seen this like new iteration of Dallas play.
I mean, I've talked about it.
Sorry, it's 6,
You're
not
good.
7. But go ahead, Tom.
No, I was gonna say I've talked about it before in control. The break off is like a really big thing. Like teams should really be focusing on their breaks and making sure they're doing their research, and just seeing what other teams are doing off their break. That way they can blind counter them or just be ready for it. Because sometimes the break off just dictates the round. It dictates the round. It dictates the game. It's a lot more important than people like the first 10 seconds of a round is literally so important because it just opens up the map if you do it correctly. So. I think it was right here when Scum ends up coming through kitchen. Yep, he comes through kitchen. He picks up a kill. He picks up a Krig, and he gets a big 3-piece. And then once he pops that 3-piece, the whole team of OpTic again. We talk about the stacks. They stack the point, and it goes up in seconds. So just a really good play from OpTic to kick things off.
I think the other issue for Dallas too is looking through kind of their records and just overall like how they played the last couple of stages. They're very good on checkmate control. But they played rate control about 14 times, and they're 5-9 on it. Their garrison record's not that good either, so they just have a very shallow map pool in this mode. You know that OpTic's always going to be keen to play rate control. And I don't know what it is, Tom. I don't know if it's just the lack of teamwork and cohesion is why they get in trouble in the game mode. Maybe it's a comms thing, but they need to get another advantage here in terms of their win conditions by getting a little better at this game mode.
Yep, 100%. I don't know what's going on with Dallas right now. I want to talk a little bit about them because we're talking a lot about OpTic and kind of how they're playing really well and how their teamwork. Honestly, they look great today. I mean, OpTic looked great today. My only concerns with them over the last couple of days, my criticism with them was just their teamwork and just making sure they're working off each other, working on their comms.
We'll get to more about OpTic, but from your point from Dallas, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think they should do right now?
I just don't know what. That's the problem. Is I really don't know what's going on with them because I feel like they have talent, but they're not putting it together. Like, I just feel like they're not, like, even their slang isn't there anymore.
Can I argue the other side of this?
Is it a chemistry thing?
I don't even know if they do on paper have the talent right now. Like, let's be brutally honest about their team. Shotzi is by far no. Let's break it down.
Well, I know where you're going with this.
Shotzi is by far and away the best player on the team right now.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Right. Let's be honest about Krim. He had a couple of weeks early on this season, but if you look at his stats overall the last 2 stages, it's been really bad. He's near the bottom 2 or 3 in terms of ARs, in terms of a lot of key stats. It's really making it very tricky. Illy has struggled without Hook on the team, and I'm still not convinced that he's really going to put up the slang you need as a second sub player, so they've got to figure that out. And I like what they bring from Fellow. You know he's going to bring comms and good teammate vibes, but he's not a mega plus player either. And he's had his struggles in this stage. So I think overall, skill-wise, they've taken a big step back from the team when they had Hook, and they've got to try and make that back with teamwork, which they don't have right now.
I feel like Illy was struggling even when Hook was on the roster.
He was.
Yeah.
Felt like before in the early stages, it was Hook was literally the best player, and then you had Krim who was playing like well but a little inconsistently, and then Inder was always kind of struggling and Shotzi was iffy. But now, or you get to stage 2, Shotzi's their best player again. Hook he's not playing as good, but then that's when Inder and Krim really started to kind of like underperform. And I feel like now that they don't have Hook, and like they obviously don't have the option to put him back in the roster, they run into a situation where they don't have any subs. I think Rambo's probably their sub. So now if they do want to make changes, they're going to have to look outside of the league most likely, or look on some of the benches that are available.
They are going to be I have a very good feeling that teams across the league are going to be taking calls from the Dallas Empire front office in the next couple of days. Dallas don't have, like I agree, they don't have the depth. They don't have a sub right now. They're probably going to be exploring their options on what they can do in terms of personnel. Look, a little bit of silver lining for Dallas. They've got plenty of CDL points. They're not in danger of not making champs. But they're not in a position right now where you would say that they're in that upper echelon of teams. And I don't think with this squad, they're going to be able to kind of figure it out. So we'll be curious in the next couple of days if we hear of any moves going on with this roster.
I also don't want to be like a dick and sound like I just like lost faith in half of the roster, but I don't think one change is going to be enough to like make this team compete with like Faze and Toronto's and even now New York. You look at these teams, these top 3 teams right now, Toronto, New York, and Faze, and every single player on that team is they all have pop-off games, every single one of them, right? You're not going to get that from the current Dallas roster. I don't care if they pick up somebody that's like improves their teamwork. These top 3 teams are stacked with talent, and they are all providing and performing in every single matches. They need to probably make multiple changes. I feel bad saying that because I know that's the majority of the champs roster from last year, but being brutally honest, I think it's true.
Sometimes the magic runs out. As what it is.
Yep.
Damn, that's kind of sad, bro. Sometimes the magic just runs out, man. Benjay Nasim said it himself, but I agree. But let's go into the next series. We'll see what happens with Dallas continuing the next few weeks and see if they make any changes or if there's anything going on there. But they're definitely looking a little rough, but we'll see if they can bounce back. And shout out to OpTic for taking care of business, and we'll talk about that moving forward. But now we go into the next series.
Oh, bro.
And things get really, really interesting here. They get really interesting. We have Toronto Ultra going up against Los Angeles Thieves, and right off the rip, the Toronto Ultra, they come out and they win this map 250-14.
Probably one of the most flawless played hardpoints I've ever watched in my life.
And again, after the series, there's more complaints about servers and online and PC issues and stuff like that. Listen, I don't really know what's going on, or if anything was going on here, but Toronto was playing flawless COD. Their hardpoint was completely flawless. Their breaks were on point. Their holds were on point. Their comms sounded good when they were in the listening. And I also have a lot to say about their comms when we get there and listen to their listening, because a lot of people have been saying some opinions about my opinions on their comms. So I definitely want to break that down. But what do you think is happening with 100T here? What do you think that the issues that they were talking about was a serious problem here?
So I don't know. We can't really speak to the internet issues. I haven't seen like a lot of tweets or evidence of some of the claims. So I guess we'll wait for some of the more context over the weekend.
Well, apparently there was a server switch from map 1 to map 2.
There are apparently 2 server switches, I heard. So
2 server,
like,
interesting.
It looked like there could be weird internet issues that happen. Maybe the line coming into the Thieves' house is having issues, is routing issues. The internet is a complex series of tubes, as one senator from the Congress of the United States once said. And you know, it could be anything. Ultimately for Thieves though, you know, I think Toronto on paper was always going to be the better team. I do think though, even with the server stuff aside, like 14 points, man, like that's pretty tough.
Yeah, definitely tough. I'm not really sure what went wrong, but let's go into the Astro game listening with Toronto and see how they sound.
Nice, stop hitting me at back. He's gonna be behind.
AC.
Okay.
Louis.
Hit me out now. You got no trophy, Cam. I'll get you right, Cam. I'm pushing him. Mid dead.
That's one ring. I'll stay ring here.
Oh, mid dead.
I stay
Nice,
like
nice, well played.
I'm ring.
I'm about to push out right.
Careful. I'm out
Left.
left.
I'm push out everywhere, by the way. I'm saying
You're fine.
One
dead.
rep laundry.
Nice.
Rep laundry on me.
I'm pushed out right. Yeah.
Play a corner in
Make sure we don't leave
Alabama.
gaps. I've got right.
I have Zig.
That
Nice. Got all the right.
Yeah, I got the whole right.
Could be one more left on me.
I mean, I'm just staring at right. I've not
Right
really
on me.
got
Yeah, I can hear them.
Yeah, nothing left on me.
On Zig now. Nice cat. Nice suit. Well played.
Let's play. Get all those streaks here.
I made absolute cute. He went back to P5.
I'll call the cross.
I got 4 streaks as well. Nice. I'll call the cross.
Two mid. 3 mid.
I'll drag one more. Nice. I'm hitting Zig.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
back
see
now.
anything but that.
Okay, 2 pillars.
Let's start.
They're gonna play this. Rotate when you spawn. Rotate when you
Yeah,
spawn. Not dead.
Probably. I'm not blocking.
Play
Left. We have streak.
left. Any weak? He's gone back.
Hey,
on
wake up.
To the left side. I'll be back laundry.
Try and get Kenny here. Okay, let's go.
Okay, we have
Kenny
streaks.
out of laundry. Really weak. Ran away.
On that way.
Listen, we got streaks, man. We can just streak and go around the back.
Yeah, we can.
For sure.
You should streak, Jimmy.
Yeah, I
Fucking-
will. I'll hold cruise. I'll
Yeah,
pinch
yeah.
front as well. Let me start pinching front.
Okay,
I'm holding it now. Holding it, Cam.
Yeah.
Okay, do it. Wait for me.
He's back kitchen.
Yeah,
Okay,
Kenny
one
back
three,
no, I
Kenny
got him.
Nice.
I'm curving it.
Yeah. Curve it in.
I mean, they were just big chilling in those comms.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shut off now. Yeah, they're big chilling in the comms. They're very calm, and it's not something that you see a lot when you're hearing listenings with some top
they
tiers.
are up like 120 points.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Raid is a map where you have a lot of breathing room.
But come on, let's be honest. We've heard this team calm on so many different maps, and they always sound like this, no matter what the map is.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, in terms of their tone, of course.
And one thing I want to add, they're small talking. There's a lot more. They're a lot more active in their comms. And one of the comments that I saw on the flank yesterday, and it was one of the top comments on my video, was Zoomaa. He's always flip flopping. He never wants to be wrong. You know, now he's saying that Toronto's comms are good because they're winning. Let's get this straight, guys. A month ago when we listened to Toronto's comms, it was utter dog shit.
That one Garrison hardpoint
It was terrible.
Really bad.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys want me to say. They weren't even talking. They were losing by 100 points, and they sounded depressed. They weren't even small talking.
Yeah.
They weren't talking about anything they were doing. Now when I go into their comms, it's still calm, but at least they're small talking. At least they have a plan. They're talking about things they want to do on the map. They're working well off each other. Guys, I have no problem ever being wrong. I have no problem. People were thumbsing up the comments, and I was like, I never flip-flop. I just like to say things how it is, just off my head. And yeah, it might sound like I'm flip-flopping, but they're just getting better. Their comms have just gotten better. And look, you even have Marky B in the chat, and he said our comms are terrible. If you don't know who Marky B is, he's the coach here over at Toronto Ultra, and he works with them every day. And listen, their comms just weren't good a month ago, and now I'm a fan of their comms. I personally think that they sound great. You don't need to have a lot of energy. It's just about being active and small talking and making sure that everybody's on the same page. And that's exactly what you see. You hear them working off their streaks. You hear them telling each other what to push and what to hold and what they have and where people are. It's just so much better. And I just got to call it where I see it. So that comment really pissed me off. But you can go out. You can go, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say about this map, guys. I mean, we can watch the last like 30 points as they go down, but it ends on this hill.
Yeah, there's no point. Just go over to the map number 2. And again, we saw a server change. Were you going to say something, Ben? Sorry, I didn't mean to...
No, I was going to say that Thieves responded well, but if you want to go ahead and set that up.
Yeah, no, I was going to say Thieves responded well. We go into a map number 2 to Miami S&D. There was a server change. I'm not sure if the server change was like a big thing. Kenny was talking about the server, how they switched servers and they were still having issues. I really don't know what issues they were having, if it was like a ping thing or something like that. But from watching, I mean, the eye test, it didn't seem like there was any problems. But sometimes when you're playing the game, it's a little bit different. But the one thing that really caught my eyes is that 100 Thieves just came out and put the gas pedal down, and they end up winning 6-1. So they get 14 points on the first map, which is like unheard of. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, that's not what you want to see out of a superstar team like 100 Thieves. But then they come out the second map and they mop them and they win 6-1. So it was just a really weird series of events. And you know, now that we have Parasite here, I'm curious, Parasite, what do you think it was?
I mean, they just regained, like, all it is. I mean, like, that's impressive to do, because if I lose a map 250 to 14,
I'm losing full.
I'm losing full for a good minute, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But on top of that, are we going to talk about the Toronto search game recently? Their search game has not been as good, at least in the major.
Has it not? What's their record looking like?
3-game losing streak in search.
Yeah, okay.
Their search game has not been as good as it was previously. Like, you saw Faze stomp them out on their first match, and then of course you come to this map and they lose 6-1. Like, a lot of the maps aren't even close, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. We'll see if that continues tomorrow, right? I think they're still in it. Yeah, they are.
That's definitely a series problem, because we know how important S&D is.
It's been their backbone since like forever,
which
since
is
they
weird.
started making the run.
And that happens a lot. I feel like at the pro level, you see game modes between teams fluctuate a lot, because just people just watching film, like S&D for instance, right? Toronto, they're really good at search. They're taking top teams, they're beating them. It's like their go-to, right? Their bread and butter. And now as time goes on, you know, pro teams, they're going to go back. They're going to do their research. You're going to see what they're doing. They're going to break down every...
watches VODs now.
Yeah, they watch
game plan.
VODs. They watch VODs, and they're just going to blind counter them, and they're just going to play off what Toronto does. So now Toronto needs to do the same thing back. They need to go back, watch their VODs, and figure out what's going on and figure out what they need to change. And honestly, knowing Marky B and all the guys over there, I feel like they're going to do that. I think they're going to go back and make sure that for tomorrow, they have their S&D on point. And I don't know if you guys...
I mean, because you have to think about the teams they're going to play. Obviously, we know Faze's S&D prowess. OpTic have really turned around that search game in this stage. And so they're not they're not an easy team to beat. And New York play really well as a team in search, and on a lot of maps can be very difficult to game plan against. So I expect the Toronto camp will come back tomorrow, refresh the playbook a little bit, go into that match with OpTic, and probably bounce back a little bit in that game mode.
Yep. But I think we should just move over to the next map. We go into another control. We go into a Garrison control, guys. And this was one where Toronto came out and they fried, man. I think 100 Thieves, they come out first on the offensive side. They end up doing the best they can. They get a few ticks. I think they get a point, but they don't end up executing. I think it was the 8 point that they grabbed. Was it the 8 point that 100T got? And then they got 2 ticks on B, or did they not get a point at all? I don't really remember.
I can go back and check. Give me a second.
I don't remember exactly what happened.
While you do that, Tom.
Yep.
I swear I haven't seen 100T play this map like recently at all.
With Kyler?
With Kyler? Yeah, I don't even. I honestly don't even remember them playing it with Teach. Like, if I can remember correctly, I feel like they've always played Checkmate, and I think they've played maybe a handful of raids. But this map surprised me, because I honestly feel like I have not seen them play this map. And
I don't know. I don't know how many times they played a map. Honestly, I feel like the map fits them, though.
Hey, wake up.
I feel like it's a good map for them, but they definitely got shut down today versus Toronto on it. That's for sure. And Toronto's nasty on this map. So I don't know.
They're disgusting at Garrison, everything, I feel like. It's like their playground.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ben, my bad. I'll turn it on right now. I don't even know what happened to it.
Yeah, it probably just got reset. But looking at it, it looks like these were able to get 2 caps on B, and that was it. They got put in the spawn trap blender on Garrison that we see a lot, and that was that. And then Toronto, dude, like Toronto are absolutely nasty, unbelievable on like offense on this game. On this map, I feel like on Garrison they do such a good job in control, just playing off each other. When they have to take those long pinches on A, they just do a good job of just getting the kills around brick and then collapsing.
Yeah, exactly. They do such a good job of helping each other, and they always are playing spots where they can like help each other until they actually get like deep into people's spawns, and then they start going rogue.
Hey,
I feel like they just understand control like really well in general.
Yep.
And then how to like push their limits and stuff like that.
They do a really good job of just finessing. I mean, I wrote it down here in my handy dandy notebook that I am now using.
Okay, Mr. Blue's Clues.
That was the whole point, Ben. Listen, Bance did a great job getting into bricks and just being really annoying. I mean, he just kept switching up his corners. He kept picking up kills, and he's not the only one. The whole team just has that ability to just finesse and make plays around the map, and I think that's why they're so good. So just seeing Bance work around bricks, get the kills. And then what I love about what he does here is he gets pushed up, he gets the kills, and then he runs back and stacks the point. So not only does he push out the cuts, get the kills, but he doesn't just go and kill whore and just go slay spawners again. He turns around, he gets on the objective, and he helps his team cap that point really fast. Yep. And, no funny business coming from Benjamin Bance.
On top of that, just the angle that he's playing, like, these guys are so good at, like, playing a lot of like weird angles and stuff like that people might not be useful. Like most people would, like, you saw it actually from the 100T. They checked the crate, they checked the crate corner. They didn't see anybody. They obviously nobody's up top. Like it's a good play by Bance to sit in that spot, and he ends up getting a free kill, finessing, and then basically killing the rest of them.
Yep. And then we go into a third round. Toronto go up 2-0. They go back on the defensive side. They had streaks to work with, and they just do a good job filling in the gaps. 100 Thieves, they end up getting the B cap right away, right off the rip. They have a good break off, but Toronto, they hold on strong. They have streaks to work with. They save them. Anytime 100 Thieves tries to make a play through A, they shut them down. And Toronto just do a good job holding on and just keeping the pressure on them.
One thing I like that Toronto does really well on this map on defense when they're in that A situation is if they get pressure in bricks and the guys that are on site get isolated, they do a good job of taking green control. We've talked a lot on this show, Tom, and like that situation, it sets you up for 2 plays. One is to hold down that side of the map and kill people coming off a spawn for the other team, or if you want, just fly out and shoot the guys in square all in the back or in bricks. So I think Toronto did a good job there when they called in the streaks that they had guys that kind of pinch that last guy in hill and be able to normalize the situation.
Yep, just good plays from Toronto. And then we go on to a fourth map. We went on to a checkmate hardpoint, and I was watching this actually with Enable in the TeamSpeak. We were doing a little watch party today, and this one was frustrating to watch for him. The hardpoints just didn't look good today for 100 Thieves, and I'm gonna make it very clear right now because we don't even need to watch through this whole map. 100 T did not get one rotation this map, not one. There was not a single rotation that they got. They didn't rotate to one hill. I was waiting for it. Like when I was watching it, I was just like, Toronto got this rotation. Toronto got that rotation. Toronto was just so on point of staying ahead of the game and playing the game the right way that, listen, 100 Thieves, you have so many people negative. They're all getting smoked. Of course they're going to get smoked. They're running into setups. Like Toronto is just outplaying them. That's all it came down to.
500 to like 80 something, I believe, was the total score line of the 2 hard points.
They 100 point clubbed them in 2 maps.
That is impressive out of Toronto, regardless of Thieves' misplays. That is insane.
And listen, I think 100 Thieves are a lot better than this. They showed it earlier in the day when they took down London, and London's been playing good as well. So the fact that 100 Thieves took down London the way they did, they look great.
95, my bad.
Yeah, but I'll say this about Thieves. They're a relatively young team in terms of the folks they have on the team. I know Draz is in his second year. Venom's a rookie. Kenny and Collar have been around for a while. But their showing wasn't that bad in this event or in the last major. And their standings are pretty good. They have a lot of opportunity here to make a deep run in the next 2 majors and go up the standings. So I don't think there's any doom and gloom right now in the Thieves camp. They're in a good spot. I think this team's going to excel when they go to LAN, especially with Ken and Kyler. And kick it on from there. I would not be surprised if there's one of those teams that tries to really grind LAN version of this game when they can. I know it's going to be kind of tough with sort of how the setup of how this game works. You can only really play 20 hertz if you actually grind on LAN. But I think they're going to go and try and get a little bit of edge, a little bit of experience being in Dallas for the major, and would like to see them take the next step up, next major, get a top 4, top 3, or maybe win the whole thing.
Yeah, but on top of that, I just wanted to talk about the fact that you obviously invested a lot by getting Hook on the roster, right? And then you have Teach still on the bench. And in my opinion, and I love Carlos Venom to death, but he hasn't been performing for them, I guess, statistically. And you go and look at like the Tej versus like Venom in terms of like their performances in their matches prior when they were both on the roster, and I feel like Tej was playing better for that team, and he probably provides a similar role to Carlos Venom, because Venom is one of those players. He's like very ratty and stuff like that. He makes the game. If he's supposed to make the game easier on his teammates theoretically, right? And I feel like Tej does the same thing. On top of that, he's really explosive in search. We know what Tej can do in search, and I feel like they should have at least, you know, kept him, if my opinion, and gave Hook Carlos a spot. But I mean, honestly, if they continue to struggle, because they were playing really well before they made that role, that swap, right? They were winning a lot of series, and they were super competitive with their new roster. Everyone was super hyped for them. But after that, it's just been downhill. And obviously, I don't think they get rid of Hook, you know, and go back to their original team, because Hook was a huge investment. So I'm interested to see what these guys will do if they continue to struggle, and if they keep Tej. Unlike Empire, I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I don't want them to let go. I don't want them to let go of Tej. I don't want them to make the same mistake that Dallas did and get rid of one of their important, very good bench players. And when they need that roster swap, they're obviously not going to get rid of Draws and
Can I also toss out a fire take?
Yeah.
Tej's weakest game mode this year was Control. Venom's best game mode this year was Control. I know we've talked, and you guys always
here we go with this fucking thing, Ben. I'm gonna fucking cook you
Let's see if
live.
these want to explore some crazy thing. We're getting Carlos in just for Control, bro.
No, Chris, Parasite, please don't agree with him here. Please
no, I'm
don't.
not agreeing with
because
it, but
then I'm gonna have to fucking
it.
cook both of you, Ben.
Oh no!
You
I'm not
can't
agreeing.
do that, Ben. You can't. You just can't. You can't fucking just say, you know what, Tej, you're gonna sit out this one. We're gonna bring in fucking Carlos. He's gonna unplug his shit from the fucking setup. Then Tej is gonna come on. He's gonna plug all his shit in. The whole chemistry's gonna be off. It's all gonna be fucked up.
We need a Len in the chat, guys.
Listen.
I'm just trying
The only way that I was like, maybe you're onto something is maybe like an S&D, because you have like a crazy, like somebody who knows S&D, like an S&D star. But even that was a far stretch. But Control, yeah, he's doing better than the Control.
Carl's playstyle fits Control really well.
It does. I played with him on Wester for a little bit. He was great. But like I was just in general, I don't want them to see them let go of Tej. I really hope they don't, because if they continue to struggle, I want to see him back on the team. He was playing good. Their team was playing good with them before. For him to get taken out of, and I think he's a generational talent. I didn't agree with it.
And they
I feel bad for him.
They shouldn't trade into a team like DAL. They shouldn't make other teams in the league better with Tej. Tej is a player who will spawn up and make the right play. Slaying can sometimes be inconsistent, and I think some of the magic ran out with him and Ken and Austin sort of the end tail of this team earlier this year. But I agree. I think they may explore some options with Tej here. They've got obviously a week break to figure it out. But I think these are in a good spot depth-wise to sort of find the best combination of players that they can work with in the run of champs.
They have good pieces, of course.
Yeah, listen, they have good pieces. I do agree, though, with the TJ thing. It was just weird because 100 Thieves was finally hitting their form, right? They looked really good. But just on top of that, the whole atmosphere of the team looked great. Like, they were always smiling, always laughing. It just seemed like they were having a good time out there, and they were playing good COD. And I agree with you, Parasite. TJ is a really good player. And he's definitely a good player to have on the bench, so they should definitely not make the same mistake that Dallas made of getting away Hook, which, again, I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. Now we're here, and Hook is on another team, and XEO, the world champs, are broken up. So I just don't get it. But let's go into the next series. Shout out to Benjamin Bance, and the interview was a great interview. And also, the Dashy interview was comedy. I feel so bad for Jess Brohard that interviews just keep going shit because the players on the players' end, things just fall apart, and she sits there and she's like, what the fuck is going on? So poor Jess, man. But let's go into the next one. We got OpTic Chicago going up against the Florida Mutineers. We're kicking things off on Moscow Hardpoint.
Series.
It was an ugly series, and again, OpTic just looks so much better today. I mean,
can we? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, the one thing that really caught my eye on this map was OpTic's breaks. I mean, especially going into those P3s and P4s. I mean, Florida, they rotated, but OpTic do a really good job just making it mixy. They wait for each other. They take all the right routes, and they just play off one another. And that's exactly what you want to see. You don't want to see any dumb shit, no single pushing. And then on top of that, they were just frying on all cylinders today. They were just feeling themselves. So I just want to give credit to them because they've been playing really well. And obviously, the last couple times we've been talking about OpTic, we've been giving them a little bit of slack on their teamwork and the way they've been playing the game. But today, they came out and they did their thing, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, on the OpTic side, this was the momentum. We talked about this yesterday. Like, we're going to find out a lot about this team on this day, aka today, when they go on this run. And I think we figured out there's still a good fight in this team. They had a really bad stretch of matches. Looked like they were at their low point, and they've now kind of grinded out top 4 in this major. And I think it's very respectable. And I'm really excited to see them square up against Toronto tomorrow, especially with how good OpTic's playing in search. And some of the map pool selections we may get, I feel pretty good about OpTic's chances in that series. On the flip side with Florida, kind of want to pose this question to you guys. Do you think, like, going into the season, for the high hopes we have with the squad, what we were seeing about them in practice, sort of in preseason, and the result against Faze, you think they're right now the most disappointing team of the season so far?
Yeah, so far. I think Dallas is the most disappointing team so far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Dallas is super disappointing, being world champs and everything. But Florida's another one. I mean, I had mentioned that maybe Sky's an Awakening, maybe not having them on the same team is the best play. I had mentioned that yesterday. A lot of people were giving me flack for it. I'm just throwing shit out there at this point because the team is just not working. And I just don't know what it is, because talent, they definitely have talent, right? Skies, he shoots really fucking straight. We all know what Awakening can do. Havoc's always been a good player, and you see the talent, the ceiling that Neptune has. I think the only main problem with Neptune was just learning how to play COD and just making sure he's playing the right way and not doing some of just the dumb mistakes that he's been making. But I think that takes time when you switch games, right? He's coming from Halo, so I thought that was going to take time, but they're just not executing.
I want to give a quick shout out.
I disagree on that. Go ahead.
I want to give a quick shout out to Willet. So, I mean, it's not like it's official or anything, but there's no surprise. Willet's one of my friends, and he was an old teammate of Awakenings, but he used to be the coach of Triumph, and he's been working with Florida, apparently. He's been tweeting about it all the time, so it's no secret. And they started to look a lot better when he was brought on in terms of that in the last week. And then, unfortunately, the rest of these last 2 major matches, they haven't been playing well, but I just want to give a shout out to him. And just to bring up the point about the whole Awakening Skies thing, when those two are both playing good, that's when you see this team at their best. The problem is, what is it? What is going to get them to play good consistently? Is it them? Is it the system around the team? Like, that's the trouble that Florida's running into. I feel like is you want both of them to be performing, and I feel like when you do, they're a scary team. But when they're not, you see matches like this.
Yep, I actually have Slacked, who's poking me, former player of the Florida Mutineers. Let's drag him in and see what he has to say.
User was moved to your channel.
What's up, Slack? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Tom? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, Jerry? I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm doing pretty fucking good. Welcome to the show, man. I saw you poking me. You want to come in? Anything you want to say or what? These are your guys right here, man. What's going on?
Yeah, Tom, I did want to make some comments, but you know, I don't have anything against the guys, but I just kind of want to talk a little bit on the situation because I heard you guys kind of speaking of everything and kind of wanted to give my insight of what I thought was going on with the team.
Go ahead. Give us your insight, man. Let us hear it. Come on.
I mean, I think I've said it before on the show, and Ben, you've said it a lot, but I think it's just really the same thing. I even heard Maven say it. I think this whole year, including when I was on the roster and when I wasn't on the roster, there just hasn't been like a game mode that is like a staple for our team to like bring something through. I think with Colt, they obviously started winning some search and destroys. And I think their record was like maybe 4-3 or 5-3. I don't remember, but
they don't have a winning record in any game mode right now.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I think that, in my opinion, I think that I've said it before. Neptune, Skies, Awakening, they're all absolutely the grossest talents. I think I think they're all individually super talented. But I think that to have like a complete roster, like when you do a New York listening, I was specifically on Garrison Hardpoint. It was yesterday, I think. Yep. You heard like so much leadership from like Asim and Clayster as far as like, hey, this is our setup. This is what's going to happen. They're spawning here, spawning there. When I played with Florida and when I've watched their listenings even without me, it doesn't seem like they have like an understanding of what is going to happen when things like
they don't have a game plan.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like shooting their gun. Like I was watching and they're silent for like 20 seconds at a time, like where someone's just not saying a word. And it's like they don't understand and have the game mode down to a T where they can do that. They have the talent to do it, but I think really what, in my personal opinion, what needs to happen is like they got to bring on some people who like understand what is going on. Like you said, Ben, Skies and Awakening can win series by themselves. They've done it. I've seen it. I've been a part of it, and I've seen it without me. And I think if you just brought on like a submachine gun duo that actually can help bring like leadership and understanding of what is happening on the map. They have enough talent to win. They just need like people who I think understand more the long-term game to like compete with these top teams.
I feel like their playstyle is like chow or be chowed. It's never anything else, and they're either just winning their gunfights or they're just not winning their gunfights, and that's just the way it seems. Because you've seen just so many highlight reels at this team, and it just seems like that's all you're getting from these players. It's just like highlight reel.
That was
the
their
series they
highlight
win.
reel.
Skies Are Awakening has a 1.5. If you go look at the series they won this stage, Caesar had a 1.52 in 2 of the series they won. That is absurd. Like, that is hard to lose with.
I think
when you're a player going double positive like that, I don't know. That's crazy. Dude.
I honestly, and you guys might disagree with me here, but I feel like there's a pacing issue with this team. I feel like Skies and Awakening are really good, but and I feel like the whole team is really good, but I feel like they're separated.
To make the right plays on the map, though, Tom.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, there's a lot of things I was going to talk about. Yeah, I agree with that too, Ben. I think Havoc and Neptune have a lot to work on like the right routes and just working off one another. But I feel like Skies and Awakening are on a different pace than Havoc and Neptune. I'm not saying they're faster. I think Havoc and Neptune are way faster than Skies and Awakening, but I think that's the problem. When you had F3 on the team last year, first of all, Slack, you're talking about that leadership role, somebody to kind of just like be that guy.
Oh, he did it all.
And F3 did it all. I mean,
he literally the fucking goat, like, so one of the best players to ever touch COD talent-wise. He's a fucking leader.
I agree.
They called out everything. Like,
I agree.
And that guy was fucking.
He was different.
Bro.
He was different at that game.
And the main thing about F3 was the way he played. He wasn't a fast player. He wasn't a slow player. He was just smart and methodical. And he did a good job working off Skies and Awakening. And right now, I just feel like they're not working off each other right now. And the best example I can give is the LAG roster. You take away somebody like Vivid, who was just super aggressive, super fast paced, probably their best players to like stat wise or just watching the games. A lot of people were really shocked about the Vivid change, but they bring in Chino, who's, you know, maybe fits the play styles a little bit better on the team, and it seems like the chemistry might be a little bit better. And Los Angeles Guerrillas seem like they've been playing better, to be honest. So I just feel like there's just a missing piece to this Florida team, and I don't know who to change. I mentioned take out Skies and Awaken. It all depends on who that guy's going to be, on who's going to be changed. But I think they should look into making another change. Honestly, I think they should. I think they're one change away from being really, really good. And right now, it just seems like they're a little off.
In my opinion, this is not even just Jerry's my teammate. I play with Jerry, and I think he's really good. In my opinion, you bring Jerry back, and you have to get rid of one of them, Caesar or Awakening. It's the only way, in my opinion, that you need. A lot of these teams, they need new looks in general. Like it seems like they can't put it together. You can't get any sort of consistency out of some of these superstar players. There needs to be some sort of change, and it has to be drastic at this point, because we already see what the roster was with Jerry on the team, and it was the same story. It was like you either had Awakening or you had Caesar playing well, but never them two. And it's not because I don't like the guys. I think both of them are gross. It's just together they can't seem to find any sort of consistency, and one of them needs to be swapped out. I think it's the only way that they can
and Colton and
change up their look.
Jared, I know you're here. Like you and Colt basically are putting up very similar numbers, and like that to me is not either of your individual skill levels. It's purely on the teamwork just not being there, and you constantly being in a position where you're just not winning plus gunfights, just not navigating.
We just simply don't. The game mode is, or the game plan is not the same. We don't play the game correctly. When I was on the team, and even when I'm not on the team, and that's why you'll see super inconsistent results, and like why it's just all over the place. You either 3-0 or get 3-0'd and look like the best team or the worst team. There's really no in between. And that's why you see such inconsistencies in all of the players, including Skies, including Awakening, including Neptune, like all of them. Like even when I was on the team, like I said, I had plenty of series where I did really, really good, and we looked fantastic. We 3-0'd OpTic when I was on the team. We looked fantastic. And then the next series we'd lose to Seattle or whatever. It's like you're not going to find consistent results when a team doesn't like consistently make the right play and everyone's on the right like same page every time.
Let's talk about right. So we're on round 6 right now of raid S&D between Florida and OpTic, and Florida does a good job off the bat in this offensive round getting all like most A control. But they don't plant the bomb. They decide to put 2 guys in Tiki, and we'll play the round out from here. And basically, just get pinched around by OpTic, and they all go one by one. I agree with you. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of game planning going on, that they're all spawning up, and they know exactly what they're going to do on how to deal the game as is and then get ahead of the game. And it's putting them in a lot of situations where they're just not in a plus position to go ahead and take whatever, either map control or the objective or what have you.
Yeah, no, Florida honestly, this map came down to some serious clutches, to be honest. I mean, it was very back and forth off the rip. I think that both teams came out, won their defense, and both teams came out, won their offense. But it came down to those clutches. I feel like when it was tied up at 4, I think it was when Scump won that 1v1 in Tiki. I think it was against Neptune, which was a big win out of Scump. And then you just have Dashy with the ace, the 1v3 round 11. Like, to be honest, if it wasn't for the individual talent that OpTic had, I mean, I could have seen Florida taking this map. But I mean, that's just what OpTic brings to the table in terms of talent and their clutch factor, and they were able to execute here. Right, Ben?
Yeah, I agree.
I was like,
for somebody to say
I was like, Ben, are
Sorry,
you good?
I was getting some DMs, and we'll talk about it at the end of the show.
You're good.
That
was comedy.
Listen, it's Saturday and things are already going down, Tom. But that aside,
You're good, bro.
we'll watch these last couple rounds here. Really interesting 1v1 between Scump and Neptune here. Scump clutches up. Florida do end up winning this 10th round and then force to round 11. I want to skip to the 10th round because we got to watch round 11. I know we got a lot of OpTic fans here in the chat. And let's talk through this situation where Dashy goes ahead and 1v3s for the map plan.
Somebody goes in the chat. They go for show.
Before we go into that, I was just thinking about this, and I'm not even kidding right now when I say this, and this guy's competing directly for like spots with me. But I think this team, if they want to get rid of like one of their AR players to kind of mix up the vibe, right? And let's say they bring Jerry back, or maybe they explore an option for another sub. I think they go for Tom. Tom is very smart, and he understands this game really well. He's shown a lot. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Tom Gravity. He's shown a lot of success on this game. He understands respawn really well, and he's a really good search player. If you watch him in challengers, he blows up in search a lot of the time on that Easter team. Like, I think they could use somebody like him on the team. He's very consistent in every single game mode. He plays really well in all the respawns, and he understands, and he's a leader. And I think that could help them potentially. Anyways, you guys can move on. I just wanted to say that.
I think that's a great point. I want to go ahead and let's talk about this round 11, this 1v3 that was fantastic skill out of Dashy, but ultimately I think Florida is going to go back and look at what went down back Laundry when they took the 2 chows and didn't come away with a kill and left their teammate in a 1v1 that he wasn't able to clutch.
I don't know what the heck happened here, but how the hell did Bruce get away with this? Dashy just did the fucking impossible. And I actually saw a clip that Hector actually tweeted, and I can pull it up for you guys, but it was just kind of the reactions after the play. And it's just really cool to see how hyped they were after a play like this.
Scump's reaction was gold.
Oh, yeah, everybody's reaction was gold, to be honest. I mean, it was just a crazy play. I mean, the fact that he got a 1v3 ace round 11 is just like, dude, that shit does not happen very often, I'll tell you that. But you see here on your screen, Dashy, he does a good job. They couldn't trade him out right there. I don't know how he got away with a big 2-piece back Laundry like that. But he does a good job with 30 seconds left, just reading the play. You know, he just got a lot of kills at B. Now it's just kind of mind games, right? It's like a 50-50. What bomb site is Dashy going to go to? He ends up rotating this bomb all the way back through to A. He gets the bomb down. He jukes out Havoc. And then at that point, he just gets twisted. And he just keeps turning and checking everything. And he just stays alive in Tiki. And he just wins the gunfight against Havoc.
This is a
calls it a day.
Colt. This is a typical Colt 1v1. I remember playing with him back in Complexity on Black Ops 3, and we played OpTic. Funny story. And there was a play, a 1v2 on Breach, where he was on the most remote part of the map, looking at nothing basically, and he clutched it. And I was never more mind blown in my life. And he was kind of doing the same thing there. He was just kind of sitting on the ramp, didn't really see much. He was playing purely off timing.
No, 100%.
And he almost got really good timing here too.
Bro,
I actually think he shoots first.
Wait,
yeah,
if Havoc would have jumped on that bomb right there, would he have gotten that?
But you know what I think
he knows he was
I think it's Spectator.
Did he?
And Spectator, the sound is so loud in Search and Destroy, like your teammates can hear. I think they heard Brandon running around in Tiki.
Yep.
And they lost full.
I think they heard him, and I think Cole was gonna hop the bomb, honestly, because that's exactly what it looks like. And then I think his teammates screamed he's in Tiki.
Yeah. I mean,
he should have just pushed him.
Yeah.
Seeing the hype from the OpTic guys as well after a win like that is really cool to see. Real quick before we go into the next map, I'm gonna pull up the tweet from Hector, and we'll take a look at the reactions after that big round 11 clutch by Dashy.
Yeah, but make sure you have the audio on. We gotta hear this. They had to scream.
Yeah, I got it, bro. Here it comes. Look how Bruce walks. Look at him. He knows he's a fucking man right now. Look. Look how he's walking, bro.
That's some swagger.
Yeah, then you hear Formal saying you were nasty for that. I mean, honestly, it was just a really, really good play. And
I love the security cam videos, bro.
Yeah, and just watching Bruce walk to the fridge to go get a drink, like the way he was walking, it was almost like the McGregor walk, bro. Like that shit was fucking comedy. Like that's just good stuff. But then we go into the control. We go into the control. We got
this is over after the first round, Tom.
Yeah, we got a checkmate control, and I agree, Ben. I felt like this map this is over after the second map, after that clutch from Dashy. To be honest, I mean, going into the third map, I was doing a watch party. I said, well, this shit's fucking over. I said, you know, you can see it in Florida's faces. To be honest, they just seemed like they didn't even want to be there no more. They're definitely not a good way to go out. But gotta give credit where credit's due. I love that OpTic got the kills. And worked some stacks, and they did what they did, and they closed out the series. It's exactly what you want to see out of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think for both teams we've talked now, Florida, we'll be curious to see what they do roster-wise. Kind of, they're not like in a particularly amazing position to like lock in champs like outright after this event. They need to still do some work here, as there are a lot of teams kind of in that pack in the sort of 6 through 9 spots in the league. And on the OpTic side, intriguing match against Toronto tomorrow. That'll be the first matchup at 3 p.m. Very curious to see if they can keep this run going. Because if they do, I feel pretty good about their chances to maybe make it to grand finals tomorrow.
How many series are there tomorrow?
There are 3. So there's losers semis, losers finals, and then the grand finals.
Okay, good. Listen, listen. One thing I do want to say is the long days of COD have been great. I like the only complaint that I would have is I think they should start them a little bit earlier. To be honest, I think there's a lot of UK viewers that are just like not able to watch because it's just getting too late for them. So why not just start in the mornings like we did at events, you know, like not early, like 8 a.m., but maybe like, I don't know, 10, 11, you know, get them not too early, but, you know, not too late. I personally think they're starting a little bit too late. I love the long days of COD. I really do. I like having so many series. I just kind of feel for the UK viewers a little bit. That's just the only reason why I say that.
These are like large corporations, and they have market research that tells them what are the optimal times for them to broadcast. So I'm sure it's not like an arbitrary decision. I'm sure they have some data backing up while they start these games at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Maybe I guess. I mean,
I would be thoroughly shocked they didn't do that.
Yeah, but they haven't even started early like that online in a while. When was the last time they started early online?
Well, because they haven't had to do 5 games until today. As opposed to last year, last year they had like 8-9 hour days because of that format. This year they've had max 4 games, so that's why they started 3 and get done by 7:38.
Yeah.
But today they started 1:30.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. They probably test shit like this. I honestly don't really know. I just see a lot of complaints about it, honestly, with the UK viewers and
it's very fair for UK viewers. Like it's just in nature, bro. Like you know. They're always going to get screwed with the late run times on Eastern. If games go to like 8 or 9 p.m., that's going to go way past midnight for the UK folks. So it's a really tough balance. I know, like, talking to folks, my coworkers at Esports Engine used to run those MLG events. It was really bad when events were on the West Coast. And them trying to figure out start times when they were running MLG Anaheim, because you don't want to start it too early when you're on the West Coast, starting at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
To try and maximize viewership. But at the same time, you can't have it start at like 3 p.m. West Coast, because then it's already too late for people in the UK. So it's a very tricky act to balance.
It's tricky regardless. But let's get back to the COD. Right, OpTic, they end up closing it out 3-0. Skies looked like he was very emotional right there at the end of the game.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely frustrations coming out from the Florida camp because they know that they're better than this. But at the same time, good credit where credit is due. We've been giving OpTic a little bit of flack the last couple of shows, so just want to give a huge shout out to OpTic because I feel like they showed up to play. And I'm just really excited to see what they do tomorrow because I think tomorrow is going to be insane. But then we go in to the final match. The New York Subliners going up against Atlanta Faze. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I almost had a fucking heart attack watching this fucking thing.
This was absolutely another back-to-back banger series for Faze.
Yeah, really back-to-back bangers,
This one literally went down to round 11, 1v1.
Yeah, no, this was a crazy series. You literally can't make this up. Like, you can't. And I don't know how it always happens. I mean, I'm going to be honest with the way New York came out these first couple maps.
Out of your channel.
I personally thought that we were going to 3-0 them. Just the way that they were playing.
Yeah, but New York, you and I came on your stream. New York's control woes continued in this series, and they let Faze kind of get back into it. In the hard point. The one thing I want to talk about with the vetoes, the one thing that I thought was interesting from the vetoes is Faze banned Garrison hard point, which they had lost to New York the last time they played. It ended up going to Apocalypse because of how the maps worked out. So Faze end up, and we'll go into map 1. Faze end up losing Apocalypse. My guess is that these teams play again. I don't think they'll do that maneuver. They may just square up on Garrison, or maybe we get a checkmate. But this was an interesting strategy from Faze in terms of their approach, just because I think New York has not lost that Garrison hardpoint with Hydra so far this year.
I mean, right off the rip, you got to give credit where credit's due to Simp. This guy was on another level off the rip of this map. I was like, Manon, can somebody kill this fucking guy? Because I'm starting to lose composure. This guy was all over the map, and I just feel like he wasn't losing a fight. But I think it was around the second rotation of hardpoints where New York really started to just take this map away.
I think it was actually around the P5. All these like Apocalypse losses have played the exact same way for Faze. They will.
I do want to go on board with this listening with New York, if you don't mind.
I'll pause before we get to listen. Just as you watch the listen in, watch what happens on the P5 here. It snowballs from Faze. They lose the P5 control. They get instantly broken on the P1 and flip for P2.
This is not a P5 though. That's on my screen.
No, I'm just trying to set the stage for people when they're watching as we go into the listen here.
All right, let's go on board with New York and see how they're coming.
We're gonna fight this to go around.
Yeah, we're gonna fight this. I'm gonna come down off the slide off.
Name me, top TV.
I'm gonna drop off now.
Oxford dead. Inhale weak, easy. Near that. One more choice.
One more low, dead.
Let's go. I'm going P5. They're flipping. One. Who are we missing?
Where's the MC? He's other back. One coop though.
He's on the truck.
I got him, Alex dead.
He went out. I think he went out.
L weak, Sim.
He's
in L, laying down L, going back there. He's going one up it.
I'm gonna go out.
I spawned out temper, guys. I'm gonna go block. Big win. Stay alive. They're gonna spawn out.
I'm watching tools.
I'm gonna come out.
I got Alex front, guys.
I flashed over. He's in L. Left corner L. One shot.
Tools on me dead.
Hey, wake up.
He's laying down in L. Laying down back L.
One's gonna be behind me, guys.
One more coop.
Sally, across
Close coop. I spawned pit.
Oh wait, I'm gonna save push up broke now.
P5.
Yeah. Maps is weak. BZ's going front. BZ's coming front.
Top P5.
I'm spawning out simple, guys.
Run on your right. Big kills.
Push me in hill, weak, easy.
I'm gonna go left.
BZ weak in P4.
Got one in the back.
P4.
Yeah, I mean, their comms are. Oh, you're still listening. Sorry.
No, I'm good. I lowered it now. The comms are great. Honestly, they sound pretty good.
Bro.
One thing I want to say.
Go ahead, Chris.
Are you gonna say something about Paco?
I was gonna say you wouldn't even know this guy's second language was English. Like his small
you can
talk.
tell from the accent.
Well, yeah, of course the accent. But I'm saying besides that, this guy's small talk was
great,
godlike.
Yeah, it's really good.
He was calling out spawns. He was calling out, yo, pick this up. I have this. I have that. He's here. Like he's on your dude. That was actually.
It's
nuts.
honestly just the passion in his voice too. Like you could tell he just really wants to fucking win. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the best thing to have as a teammate is you just hear it in their voice, like the passion and just the will to win, right? But we actually have a guest from the New York Subliners. You guys can already probably guess who it is. But welcome to the flank, my man Asim. How are you doing, kid?
What's going on,
What's
boys?
up, Asim? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you didn't join the flank for a minute or two yesterday, you guys are done today. Done.
I 100% agree, Tom.
I
Listen,
told
bro, it's
Clay.
my
Clay
tradition.
almost set you
can't
guys up
fuck
for
with the
failure.
He
team.
almost set you up. He almost set you up, bro. If you didn't come on, you guys were fucked.
Facts, and that's why I gotta come on tonight too. It's the tradition. After
You
a win,
had
I
to,
gotta
bro.
always
Look,
come
they
on
love
and
you,
show
bro. Look at
love.
the chat. They love you. Look at all the Wasims. They're going fucking nuts. They fucking love you.
The
Hey,
Mafia is the best mafia in the city.
hey, Asim. You know, we're obviously talking about the first map right now. I think it was around the second rotation where you guys really started to pull away, but. We just listened into the comms and you guys sounded really good. What was like the point of this map where you guys felt like you were in full control? I thought it was right here when you were able to push through this P1 and flip for P2. You got most of the P1 time and then got a lot of that P2 time. And then it just seemed like you guys pulled away from here.
Yeah, Tom. I think it was right here as well. I think I knew I was working on streaks here. Like the only thing I would talk about in the gameplay is like right here. Like I knew pinching was gonna be for the betterment of the team. But I also knew I should have played selfish for streaks, and like that's like one of the biggest problems I have as a player is like I just won't play selfish, and it's like it bites me in the ass, like because I know in the long run like me having two sets of streaks or like one set of streaks would have helped a lot on this map. But that's where it's got to be a little selfish. But I can't, Tom. I can't be selfish sometimes. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
I gotta learn to be selfish.
Yeah, and that might be your biggest fault.
Yeah,
it's like not being selfish sometimes, which is like I guess it's a good fault to have, but sometimes you gotta know when to be selfish and when to be unselfish, right? But I mean, regardless, you guys came out really strong versus Faze, right? You guys beat them last time. You guys, wait, you guys beat them last time, right? I know you guys.
Our first ever match with Hydra, we beat them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was also around 11 as well.
Facts. Good point.
And that's what I was gonna say. Asim, you guys are gonna give me a fucking heart attack. I'm getting gray hairs over here because I'm losing my fucking mind when I'm watching this shit. Like, bro, I did a watch party today, and I know a lot of people in my stream right now were in there, and we were losing composure, and I can only imagine you and you guys in the match. Kind of like what you guys are going through.
A banger, bro. I honestly, to be honest, I didn't see the Toronto versus Faze matchup, but I felt like this one was godlike too. Like, what do you guys think was the best series? Because I know a lot of people were tweeting after the Toronto one that was the best series.
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah, so this one was better, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna even watch the other one back, but that shit was crazy too. I'm super excited to see who we get in the finals because that Faze Toronto match was obviously map 5-2, right?
Yep.
So yeah, dude, it's gonna be a grind with OpTic in there too, and how hot they showed up today, dude. Tomorrow's gonna be it's super exciting. But I'm just super proud with, like, Tom, you know this, like with Hydra on the team, like I had to change my playstyle so much to like going from full slaying to like challenging everything to like hitting routes and playing the OBJ and like. I felt like I was frying today, Tom. I don't know.
You were. I mean, the whole. You were frying. I mean, the whole team was doing their thing. Bro, to be honest, I mean,
yeah, exactly. Everyone had their own moments.
It's like, I was just gonna say that it's not about frying. It's just everybody has their moments, and if somebody is slacking or somebody's not playing well, I just feel like somebody else picks up the pace. And then on top of that, I just feel like,
bro, that's literally facts.
Yeah, I just feel like the chemistry too with the team now is just really starting to click. I just feel like you guys are just in rhythm. You guys are just really confident.
I really love this series because as a mutual, even though I'm friends with pretty much everybody on both these teams, just seeing New York like batter Faze, right, was like was huge to see. It was really fun to see because like New York, we know New York's had their struggles and stuff like that, and New York was kind of always on the fringe of being like a top 2, top 3 team, and just seeing them come out and put it to Faze like that was really hype. But when the Faze started to come back, that's when I was just like, I don't even know who to root for at this point, because seeing this out of Faze to regain and come back into the series and bring it to that map 5 was really fun to watch. That's so talking about the chat.
It was a banger,
yeah, it was a banger, bro. That's why I like this series more than the Toronto one. The Toronto one was back and forth. This one was like, oh, I don't even know who to root for anymore because both these teams are coming out swinging.
Yep.
Bro, and yeah, someone said it in the chat, the 1v1s with Asim versus our city. I feel like there was like 6. There was like 2 on the check me and there was like 2 on the express.
So
or
many,
like even
bro.
more on the express, bro. I don't know. Usually, Tom, I'm the one that's like the first one in.
Yeah.
And I was last alive.
Yeah.
Some clutches, bro.
I was like, dude, what is going on?
I mean, but there were so many clutches today too. Just so many like 1v1, 2v2 scenarios, not just in this series, but just every series. Like there's just so much happening today.
Yeah, bro.
My bad, Ben. What were you gonna say?
I was saying Asim made a really good play in this specific 1v1.
Yeah, he did.
We just kept shouldering, and Alex got an AR, so obviously his touchdown playing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, Ben. Like, I feel like on 1v1s and checkmate, like, bro, the stairs are just a power spot, you know? Like, and I was just thinking, like, this guy needs to get the bomb down, and I just got to play my clock, and that's what I did.
Yep. No, you played really well. And that was a big clutch, too, to open up the map with a big win like that. I think the main thing was just, like, winning an offense, right? I feel like it always comes down on checkmate S&D, who can take the most offenses. We know how OP the defensive side is, because you can just kind of hold those back plane stairs. You never really see anybody go A. We saw Dallas try and go A a couple times, and it failed both times.
This is the round where FaZe actually did end up going A.
Yeah,
so
but this was a late round A.
Yeah, this is a late round. We've seen this before, like when Easter is played. They were in very much the same situation. When a team gets stuck in the stack side setup, that's when A is open for you to hit it and go and get that plant down.
RC's made a good play, good initial play to hit this gap. He found a gap in the setup, and he ended up just crashing the whole setup. But Asim, what was kind of your mind? What was your thought process with this clutch? Obviously, FaZe won this round, but I felt like maybe you should have premium back alley. Or did you get a call that he was somewhere else? Like, what kind of happened here when they got the A bomb down? Or was it you or was it somebody else? No, it was you, I think. Who hopped on the bomb and who was looking over who?
Oh, I Hydra hopped the bomb.
Okay, yeah, so it was you.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it was just a miscommunication. Like, I'm not gonna go into details about it, but yeah, like definitely was more on me than it was Hydra because he had the bomb. He was the one planting the bomb.
Yeah,
but
I mean, regardless, it's hard because you don't know where the fuck
Ben,
he is.
Back to what I was saying, like a question for you: How many bomb plants have there? Bomb plants have there been in Checkmate? I feel like there was 5 before the series.
Like 6 or 7, I think.
Jesus, dude, that is crazy to think about.
Great.
That is insane to think about, bro.
You guys excited for standoff? I know I am.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for standoff. I mean, that's gonna be lit. I mean, I can't wait to see how it plays out too. And I wonder, we're probably gonna see it in Hardpoint. We're probably gonna see it in S&D. Are we gonna see it in Control?
Good question.
Because I'm very curious. Yeah, you gotta think, Asim. Are we gonna see it in every single game mode? Because I think it would play out really good in control. At least in my head, I feel like it will. I just don't know exactly where they're gonna place the points and everything. But I feel like the way that the map is laid out, it could definitely work. But I don't know what you guys think.
I'm interested to see it. Sorry, I'm eating. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you eating over there, Chris?
Shake Shack. I hadn't eaten all day. I was playing the Challenger tournament all day. It was a long day. But I'm interested to see it. I think probably the best parts that they can put the points on are the mid courtyard where P1 is, and probably where the forklift is, like by that wall. I don't see them putting it anywhere else, but we'll see. I mean, it really just depends where they put them.
Yeah, well, we'll see if teams. I assume then teams would have to have time to try it out. So we may not see it in control like for stage 4. It might be a stage 5 ad theoretically if they don't have time to test it, but definitely should play good in S&D and hardpoint for sure.
I really like the plays you guys made here to just close out this round. You guys just end up working under this B wing side. You guys are aggressive on the right side of the map. You guys just find ways to single them out on offense and just kind of get some picks. Mac was the one who opened it up with a blood. Then you slide on in, and you guys just end up team shooting this guy top lane. And at this point, it's a 4v2, right? So you guys just make the play. Hydra, he finds a gap. Ends up picking up another one, makes it a 4v1 situation. Just a good play out of you guys.
Yo, Ben, can you run it back to that CS lineup on the flash?
Yeah, that was actually.
Did you notice that? Did you notice that, Ben? Bro, Tommy, there was 3 times this series like we're on the fly.
Yeah.
I was doing shit that I've never done before. Like there was like spots I was.
How does that even
There was
happen?
like spots. No, there was like spots I was finding that was like, oh, whoa, this is a good spot, and like it was like on the moment. Like even the flash lineup, I was like, yo, let me try this out, and it worked out nice, bro.
Wait, like this one right here, like this is the bank flash. You're talking about the bank flash? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, bro, you're just making shit up on the go. That's what it looks like you're doing.
Shit up on the fly, bro.
You connected with it too, did you not?
Yeah,
you connected to it.
Bro.
You connected with it, and then it ended up backing him off that spot, and then you guys made your play, and then bada bing, bada boom. How you doing?
Bing, bada boom.
You take care of business.
When you play teams like this is when you push your limits. This is when like you like find that potential in yourself and find new things, and like you just unlock that in this series, man. You were playing so good.
Yep, the whole team was playing really good, but then you guys make me a little bit nervous. This is where I start that with fucking heart attack. This is where I start losing fucking composure. You guys go into the fucking the raid control, and honestly, Faze just kind of outplayed you guys here. They were just getting kills. They looked really good on the O's. They come out, they win the first offense. I'm pretty sure, did they win 3-0 or 3-1? They come out and they win. They win the. It was pretty much they pretty much wiped the floor with you guys on this map. And
Asim, what do you think your guys' struggles are at control right now? I know it's been the weakest game up for you guys out of the 3.
I don't want to go into depth because we got tomorrow going. I want to talk about our mistakes or our struggles in certain modes.
You don't need to talk about too much.
But I just came in here to show my love, and I'm gonna let you guys break down the series. I think control, definitely we need to work on it. It's still a learning gap for us. Like I think everyone was talking about our S&D, but
Clay said I suck at control. That's the answer. That's what Clay said.
We all suck in control. It's a team problem, and we'll figure it out for tomorrow. So, but I think our hardpoint S&D is looking at all-time highs. As long as we keep it up in those 2 modes and try to get some control wins tomorrow, we should be in a great spot.
What are you guys, 11-1 in hardpoint or something like that? 10-1?
Yeah, bro. We lost our hardpoint streak.
Insane, bro.
It was 11-1, yeah. And I think before we had Paco on the team, it was 17-2, and then with the addition of like 4 more hardpoint wins and 1 loss, it's what is it, 21-3. So it's hardpoint has been a great mode for us overall all year long. So as long as what is there? There's 3 hardpoints in a best of 9 tomorrow. So I mean, if we keep it up in the hardpoint category and our S&Ds look as good as they do, and if we can sneak out like 2 controls, like hey, we might get a nice little sweep.
Just win every map.
You know what's kind of crazy?
A nice little win every map.
Bro, this guy Clay's 53 years old and he's back in the grand finals. Like this shit's fucking nuts, dude.
Bro, Clay brings so much to the team that people
he does,
don't even know,
bro.
dude.
This guy's nuts, bro.
He literally like thinks for you. He just tells you what to do and you do it and you look like a god for it.
Yeah,
like look at Hydra, look at me, look at Mag. It's all because of Clay, bro. The guy's one of the greatest minds in Call of Duty history.
He's so smart, and his play style, he has that like unreadable play style, because as an AR, it's like he doesn't just play slow, he plays fast, he plays ratty. Like he always finds these just weird little credit sweaty spots, and like he just plays so
Yeah,
weird,
bro.
He's
I
unreadable a
smoked
lot of
Scump
time,
and
dude.
Shotzzy in the 1v1 All-Star tournament last year, and then I played Clay, and this guy plays like a straight fucking creddy. I was losing full.
He's unorthodox. Yeah,
He is
I was
unreadable,
losing
dude.
fucking
that's
full, bro.
unreadable,
Bro, Haggy, like onto that point, like I don't like. I think that's one of his greatest like traits, that he's unreadable.
Yeah.
But I think, bro, he's just like a phenomenal leader. Like
Yeah, of
in those
course.
moments, like he tells you what to do, and like, bro, it's just
Listen,
like
bro, we're
not many
gassing
players
him too
do.
much, bro.
Not
We're
many
gassing him
players
too
do
much.
that, and the fact that he's like telling us what to do in the moments, and like, dude, it just like, dude, it's just him being a leader. I think that's what his greatest trait is.
Listen, bro,
for sure.
his head is getting too big. Clay, you're dog shit. Show me more tomorrow, because right now you don't look like you're good at all. You know what I'm saying? Show me more tomorrow. Let's see it again
Win a
tomorrow.
control. Win a control tomorrow. That's all I ask. Just win a fucking control, dude.
Let's see my man in chat. Appreciate you, Clay. You're the fucking man. Good shit today. You guys obviously looked really good. Faze, they come out. They fry you guys this map. I don't really want to talk about it too much because I just felt like Faze are really good at control. They're just really good at working kills. They end up getting streaks. They use their streaks to get even more kills or just push you guys back, stack these points, and it just looked really easy for them, honestly. So I think it was just more just you guys need to work a little bit on this game mode. And Faze, honestly, we got to give credit to them because they made this a series. They were down 2-0. They come back, they win the control, which is a swing mode, which is why control is super important and why I think you guys really need to work on it because it can hurt you guys. But Faze, they end up winning the control. They bring it to a 4th map. And I'm going to be honest, on this 4th map, you guys were playing like the map well. You guys are rotating stuff, but Faze was bullying you guys. They were breaking hills to the front and shit. Like they were definitely, I felt like there was a couple times where they broke hills where they probably shouldn't have. And sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
It was a second P2, I think, was probably the backbreaker.
Yeah.
Faze was rotated for the first couple of hills. And then New York got the good side in the second rotation. And once they lost the P2, I think that was a GG.
I just, like to what Clay said too, like, I think one thing I've always credited Faze for is that they might have the best composure in the league. They've always been like that. Like, I remember even like on land stuff, if they were down 0-2, they would always be laughing at stuff. And MC, I think MC is a full-on cold-blooded Kawhi Leonard robot goat, bro. Like he came out, they were down 1-2, and he said, "Not today, bro." The guy, what did he go? 32-16.
Nah, he fried.
The guy
bro.
was
He fried.
frying us on the
Honestly,
radar
even watching
point,
him in
bro.
that map 5, I was just losing full. He's just such an annoying player to play against. I was saying it during the
Not
watch
only is
party.
he annoying, Tom, but like, dude, he doesn't let anything affect him, bro. He just goes out there and just guns your shit. And I mean, he was gunning, bro.
He's such a hard kill. Besides
he's such
his
a
gun
hard
skill,
kill,
he's just
literally.
like he's so hard to hit. He puts himself in all these like weird angles and like weird spots. I mean, like in MW, he just had all these like broken trees and like angles that he would sit in where you just get no aim assist, and it was so annoying to shoot at.
Yeah, we see Mitch in the chat. She said, "Did I hear cookies?" Whenever she hears cookies or chocolate or any sorts of sweets, Mitch is always on the way. Those of you who don't know Mitch, that's Michaela. That's my girlfriend. So say hello to Mitch in the chat. Let's get a witch in the chat. You know the fucking vibes. But yeah, I think the main thing, you guys had a really good P3 hold here. I like that the fact that you guys pushed everything out. You kind of forced them onto one side of the map. Clay ends up making a good play, backing up and getting onto this head glitch, and just I think right here you guys really got back into the game, but it just kind of fell apart after this. Just a good hold out of you guys, but FaZe kind of took control and just kind of closed it out. To be honest, I don't know if there's anything that caught your eye, Ben or Parasite or any of you guys, but
it was just a P2. I mean, we'll just watch it, and I think we can move on to map 5 because that was really the backbreaker.
Was it the second P2?
Yeah, second P2.
Yeah, because so FaZe broke in through the front on both P2s? Because the first P2, New York was there first.
They were rotated for the first P2.
Oh, okay. Well, the P2s was definitely a problem then. But how did they break it? What did FaZe do to break that setup?
I get to watch, so I'll watch it here.
So
I got full flash here. I somehow got a full burst on him, but yo, can we talk about Arcity's fucking 3-round burst pistol? This guy is disgusting with that shit. I need to start using that more.
I was just talking about the pistol. I think it's ridiculous that you have a pocket shotgun, to be honest.
Bro, Tommy, I didn't realize how good that shit is, bro. That shit like actually one bursted you clean if you land all bullets. Like
you land all
right
bullets,
here,
you're one
I
shot.
was full flash and I was like, whoa, I just hit all my bursts on him, and then I tried rechalling, but I mean I was white screen. But dude, Alec and Awakening, I think are like the best 2 pistol players. If you ever see Awakening, that guy will willingly pull out the pistol shotgun, dude.
Yep, no, 100%. I was just talking about that. I mean, we're gonna talk about that first round in S&D, that game 5, because you guys made me shit my fucking pants. I'm gonna tell you right now.
That was fucking funny. We were laughing because it was definitely the dumbest play NA, but Mac bailed us out.
I mean,
Mac's a
thank
beast.
God, bro. Literally, thank God Mac won that because
Dude,
I would have
thank God he won
lost composure. Dude, it might have been over right off the rip, right from the first round if you guys would have lost that.
Low key, bro.
So shout out to Mac. But yeah, FaZe ended up closing it out. I mean, bro, even right here, I was like, Jesus, like the fact that FaZe was just able to just wall vaults to the front. Like they get a couple kills in kitchen. They make it hectic. You end up picking up a big 2-3 piece. But then RC's goes rogue right here.
And then Alec pops his own 3-piece with the Craig.
Yeah, with a Craig up close.
Dude, that 2 kills with a sub and then call it a Craig.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna let you guys break down the S&D. Obviously, I don't want to break down an S&D VOD before our match tomorrow. So I appreciate you having me, Tom.
Yep.
Ben and Tommy keep killing it.
Appreciate you coming on, Asim. Love you too, bro.
You guys are the reasons why I'm in the fucking league. You guys are the reason why I'm playing competitive Call of Duty.
You guys, Ben ain't doing shit.
Hey. Ben got me my contract, all right? Like, Ben's the go-to. Ben is the best manager, all right?
Fine, bro.
Listen,
fine, bro.
Guys,
fine.
Keep killing the show. I fucking love you guys. Hopefully, I can show up tomorrow after the win. The whole team, actually. I think we've all said if we win tomorrow, we'll all show up for the flank. So
I like that, man. Just go out
tomorrow, brother.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to you is just go out, have fun. You know what I'm saying? Just play your game, man, and just enjoy yourself out there, man. Live in the moment and just have a good time. And I'll be watching, man. You know I'm rooting for you, and I got your back, bro. So just good luck and. We'll be watching, bro. You're the man.
Facts. I fucking love you guys. Let's get some chupapi muñeños in the chat.
You know the vibe, bro. Get the muñeños later, bro.
Let's go, guys.
Later,
have a good day. Have a good day.
Have a good fucking
Have a good
day. Have a good fucking day, Asim. He's a good kid, Ben. He's a good kid.
Good kid. Love Asim.
Love
He's the GOAT, the OG. Tom, I got a few rounds queued up. We'll talk about the first round. I'm gonna hop to the 6th round, then we'll run it out from there to the round 11.
We'll finish this map 5, and then we'll talk about some of the tweets, a lot of the drama that you guys will not shut the fuck up about in the chat. Mod on, you guys are nuts.
This situation almost got a little wild.
I lost full.
Yeah.
I didn't even see this.
I lost full, and then I regained right away. But yeah, RC's almost clutched a 1v3 with a fucking pistol and a staircase. And it was just one of those situations where if you're in New York, I was just like, just plant the bomb, and look over him. But they just started running at him, and I mean, they were literally just falling into his trap. But thank God Mac won that 1v1, because right off the rip, this could have gotten really, really bad. That would have been a 1v4, I believe. Not a 1v3, a 1v4. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat, for correcting me.
This round, so we're on the 5th round now. New York's up 3-1. Old school play call from New York here. They straight up just sit and spawn on offense.
Yeah, and I like this. So I think what New York is trying to do here is, hey, they've been rushing B. If they don't rush down B, maybe FaZe are going to think that they're going A, and they push right through. I saw Aches coming out and tweeting about this. I don't know if this actually was like a Black Ops 2 strat or what, but I could pull up Aches' tweet and just kind of tell you guys what he said. He came out and he said, where is it? Did he respond to Clay or did he delete it? Because I don't see it anymore. And what the fuck has Aches even been up to these days? What the fuck is this guy doing?
We haven't heard much from him, to be honest.
What the fuck does this guy do? But Aches, he came out and he added Clayster. That's why I couldn't find it. No shot, you're stealing 2013 strats. Works better on Meltdown, though. 52 seconds. Trust. No one will understand that but us. Haha, congrats, brother. Clay then responded, dog, I had to call them back from checkers. They weren't having it, and I yanked the leash and pulled them into spawn. They didn't know. 52. Listen, these guys have their own fucking code. I don't know. It's these complexity guys. Bunch of weird fucks. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? But I would love to know what Ace is doing. I reached out to him one day and tried to get him on the show. And he told me that he's going to give me a rain check, that he would love to come on. But I haven't heard from him since. So I definitely got to reach out back to Pat and see what's going on with this fucking guy.
I think this round was kind of the swing round and what this went to round 11. So Alec absolutely peels Mac off the bomb head glitch on B. And then he works around with the bomb hero. He's eventually going to end up clutching this 1v1. If New York had won this round, it was looking like another dominant win from New York. Instead, FaZe kind of get some momentum here and start clawing back. We get to the 7th round. There's some good action going down at B. New York ended up getting the 4v4 plan. I have no idea, Tom, how FaZe won this round.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either. And then, to be honest, I think Asim kind of trolled here. Was this the round where Asim trolled? It was, wasn't it? It was a 1v1 situation. I think Alec was one shot, which is why Asim ended up trying to chow him. But I think if Asim just dips out, I don't think Alec had enough time to plant. Or I don't remember correctly about how this went down. I have to watch it back.
I don't know if this was this round.
No, it was this round because they would have went up 5-2, I believe, and it would have ended. So I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, this is it. So Asim, he gets a kill on Selling. 2v1 situation. RC's is one shot. 10 seconds left on the clock. And
they should have stayed down. I agree.
Yeah. Like, just stay down and just make Alec make the play. But instead, Asim just, like, jumps at him, and Alec just gets a free kill. And I'm pretty sure Asim was weak as well. Asim was weak. So I think the reason why Asim ended up challenging him was because RC's was made one shot. So they were both one shot, and I think Asim thought he can get the shots up. But Alec just made a good play pre-firing the bomb. He he just absolutely snapped. And just a good play by RCs, honestly. But then things get a little bit fucking mixy, right? Because Alec makes that play, and instead of going up 5-2, it goes to 4-3. And then Faze ended up clutching his round. Celium goes back to his fucking spot. I hate this fucking spot. This guy's so annoying to play against. That's my son. This guy's nuts. Man, when Celium gets here, it's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? The only way you can kill him is coming along the side of him and just seeing if you can just shoot him in the side. But he made a good play. They tied up at 4 Ben, and this is where I started to have a fucking heart attack. I started losing my fucking mind.
I was like, oh, this is going to turn out to be a mixy round. We get a nice little hard counter B action. I think New York ends up winning this round, right? They go 5-4.
Yeah, wait, somebody just said that in the chat. That's a good point. My sons are literally going at it, bro, for grand finals. That's kind of cool. Yep. That's kind of cool to see these guys doing.
Well, the Faze guys got to make it to the grand finals, but yeah,
No, I'm saying they were fighting for a grand final spot. Like, this is what you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, son versus son,
yeah, it was just cool to see former teammates and just good people in outside the game just going at it like this. But New York, they end up going 5-4. And I think everybody right now is talking about let's get around 11.
Cell goes big this round.
Well, Hydra would have killed him right there. Bro, Hydra would have got a 2-piece there if he didn't get shot on the side. 100% Hydra had that.
Yeah.
Clay just put in the chat that he feels like he fucked up this round. Clay, I don't know exactly what you did or why you thought you fucked up. You said I had a nade. Why? Did you think you should have thrown that nade somewhere? Like, I don't get it. But I think right there, Hydra should have got that 2-piece. At Cell, yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, you didn't throw your nade. Hey, you gotta use your tags, man. You gotta use your tags. But I mean, in the heat of the moment, it's a lot easier said than done to go back and look at it. But Hydra popped a big 2-piece and would have definitely got the 3 right there if he didn't get shot in the back.
One thing I also want to flag in this round is Alec RC uses ping this round, so he didn't have it for round 11, which might have helped him in the way that last round kind of plays out. So just something to keep in mind as we go ahead and watch this round 11.
Yep. And then Mac, he tries to make it he's in a 1v2. He makes it a 1v1 situation, gets taken down. RC's having a map of his life. His whole team negative, but he's sitting at 13-7. So he's keeping them in the game. He also has a streak to work with in this round 11. No ping, like Ben just said, because he did use that ping in the prior round. Things get a little bit mixy here. Obviously, Faze are on the offensive side, and they try to play slow off the rip. They try to play for a pick.
Off the bat, I actually really like this play call from New York. I think they assumed that Faze was going to hit A with the streak, and they just tried to hard counter them. So I thought that was a pretty good call from New York. And they end up actually out-rotating New York to B, which is kind of weird because B was kind of playing Faze was kind of playing a slow B. So they ended up being a really good mid-round adjustment here from New York to try and kind of even up this round. I'm going to pause this a couple of times, Tom. I'm going to pause it again when we get to the 2v2. But this was like one of the best round 11s.
It was so back and forth. Today. I mean, bro, if you go back to my watch party when I was watching this was me. I was like, yes! Fuck! Yes!
It's like the KSI video. Yes,
fuck.
No,
I was like,
no.
It was just going back and forth. There was just so many trades and just so much shit happening. It was all happening so fast. I was literally just losing my fucking mind watching this, honestly.
I thought he was about to 2-piece him here.
So here's where I think this round, there were a couple of mistakes that I think Sim ended up making in this round, which kind of sucks. And it just kind of ended up kind of clutter-rolling. So I think in this 2v2, the way that Celium challenged this, I think there was a miscommunication from the Faze side. Because Simp is basically kind of shouldering middle. Like they're looking at him, both guys. And then he runs away, and that's right when Celium kind of chows, and they turn around. So if he was still shouldering that side, MCAK Celium probably could have shot 2 guys in the back.
Maybe, but they made a good play turning around.
Yeah,
I mean,
a really good play from New York.
Did they hear him? Did he slide?
Nah, they just knew he was down there. I mean,
it looked like they just turned instantly.
Well, he had just killed Clay, so
he had just killed Clay, and he slid forward when he killed Clay. So I mean, they definitely knew he was down there. And then when the team kill came in, I was like, oh shit. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a really good. And Clay also put in the chat that they heard him, which is crazy.
Yeah.
They heard him from that deep.
They heard him slide,
which is nuts. This got so scary, bro. Because if Simp goes for this bomb plant, I don't know what happens. But he ends up not going for the bomb plant, and Hydra doesn't fall for it. I guess Hydra, and I don't know what the comms are like, and I know Clay's in the chat, and I know Asim's in the other call if he wants to join, but I would love to know what the comms are like here, because Paco just doesn't check the bomb. He just doesn't check. He's like, he just pretty much called Simp's bluff, didn't check the bomb. Clay said he's not going to plant. Oh, okay, well, there you go. Paco ends up playing his life. Simp doesn't go for the plant. I guess Simp probably thought that Hydra was gonna push him, but just a good play from Hydra to just read it out. I don't know who made Clay. Who made the call? Was it you?
Hold on. Can we talk about this emotional journey that Clay's also going through in this cam right here?
Yeah, everybody, Clay, you're probably losing fucking full.
Watch Clay's cam here. This guy's This guy's so happy, and then the massive exhale.
Bro, look at
The hands on
Paco's
his
cam.
head,
Look at
like-
Paco's cam. He's so cracked. He's not even moving, guys.
Yeah, this guy is
He's
sitting
so twisted.
still.
He's not even moving. He's so focused. Look at him. Which I don't know what's going.
You get the nice little Asim claps there. Like there's just a lot going on here.
Yeah, Clay
but
sweating
Tom,
fucking
another
bullets.
fantastic series against these two teams. Once again to round 11. For the New York guys, I think a complete. They have made the right moves throughout this year. I know your situation was super unfortunate, but time and time again, this team has managed to get past the honeymoon stage, continue to get better as a team, and I'm really excited to see them make grand finals here. I'm very curious to see from the other three teams and losers who makes it to grand finals. I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. On the New York side, I think the biggest thing for them to work on is see if they get a little bit better in control. But with their hardpoint game currently and their ability to kind of dictate vetoes in the hardpoint map, I feel pretty good about them probably winning tomorrow, to be honest.
Well, I mean, this is why I built the team. I mean, I knew picking up Asim, I knew playing with Clay and Mac, I knew was a really good fucking roster. I mean, that's why I wanted to play with this roster. And I knew with my hand issues in the beginning of the year that if I took a step back and they were able to pick up a fourth player who is super talented that can mesh well with these guys were going to be a force. And that's exactly what they are, man. I ended up taking a step back. I ended up talking to New York in the offseason and kind of told them what I kind of wanted to do. And just seeing these guys do what they do and make a grand final right now is just it's incredible to see, man. And low key, it just it just makes me feel good, and it makes me feel good about myself seeing these guys just do what they do. Because this is a vision that I saw in the beginning of the year, and just to see them doing this now is incredible. It's amazing to see, and I'm just super happy for these guys, and I'm very proud of them and all the work that they've been putting in. And it's not over yet. They obviously still have a lot more work to do, and they still need to finish out tomorrow. But regardless, they've been doing their thing, and I'm just very proud. So shout out to the New York Subliners. Shout out to Faze because they're an incredible team, and they're still in this tournament. And we got a lot of great matches tomorrow, and that's what you see up on the screen right now. So to kick things off at 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going with OpTic Chicago versus Toronto Ultra. This is going to be an insane match. You know, Toronto, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. Their S&D's been looking a little bit shaky, but they are the reigning champs, and you know they're going to come out tomorrow and bring their A game. And same with OpTic Chicago. They had their struggles in the last week or two. A lot of people were saying they were in a slump, but today they showed what they're capable of doing. They showed their potential, and they definitely have been turning things around, and they looked really, really good today. And I like their confidence. I like their energy. I loved seeing them get hyped. So I'm really, really excited to watch OpTic face off against Toronto. I'm not sure who's going to win this one. I need to think on it a a little bit. But
Colin, you don't want to make a prediction right now?
I'm going to think. Like 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. You go first.
Okay.
You want me to go first? I'll go first.
No. I'll go first.
Okay,
Since
go
it's
ahead.
the time.
Okay.
I actually really like this Toronto team, but something about this matchup right now and the way OpTic's playing and the way their S&D game looks, feel like OpTic's going to take this one, and it's not going to go to game 5. OpTic 3-1.
Oh, you're going with an OpTic 3-1. Okay, I was going to go with an OpTic 3-2. I feel like it's going to be a nail biter, but for some reason, because of everything that happened with OpTic with the Minnesota shit, right, when they lined up and the 3-piece and just, being in a slump and things not going their way, for some reason, I feel like tomorrow is just their day where things are going to go right for them, and they're just going to clutch up and they're going to ice up.
But OpTic's got to win map 1 in this series. Like, they cannot toss the hard point to Toronto, otherwise this could go south
and that's
very
the thing.
quickly.
With Toronto struggling in S&Ds, I think OpTic can take a respawn or two off Toronto and clutch up on the S&Ds, which is why I could see it being a close series. But at the end of the day, Toronto they're the reigning champs. I mean, I just don't know what's going to happen, and which is why I needed to think about it a little bit. But my prediction's 3-2 OpTic. But Parasite, I'm curious to see what you're going to say.
I think Toronto's going to win. I hope Toronto wins. I'm not against any OpTic fans. I just want to see another rematch with the Faze and Ultra, because that was a really entertaining series, and then I could care less what happens from there. But I do hope that New York wins.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a crazy series. And then it's also Champ Sunday. And I mean, just looking at the roster, it's just going to be a really good match, man. It's going to be a really good match, and I'm just super excited to watch it all fall into place. And then Faze will obviously play the winner of that match. I personally think Faze is going to beat whoever wins that match. I think if OpTic wins, Faze will beat him. I think if Ultra wins, Faze will beat him. I think Faze is going to meet New York back in the grand final, and I think we're going to have a New York Faze grand final. That's my personal prediction, but anything can happen. These 4 teams are absolutely incredible from top to bottom. Every single player playing here is going to be amazing. Everybody's going to come out with their A game, and we know when it comes to these top 4 teams, anything can happen. Listen, it's Call of Duty, and we don't know what's going to happen on the day. And I think we all predicted that these were probably going to be the top 4.
So I want to kind of switch gears for a sec to close out the show, because something kind of came through whilst we were doing the show. I liked a couple of tweets, Tom, from Accuracy. So whilst we started the show, Accuracy sent out a few tweets, and I want to get your reaction, Tom and Chris, in terms of these tweets from your POV.
Yeah, so he came out first and he said, worst month of my whole career, could not have come at a worse time, and then went on to say 10 years of hard work could evaporate over 1 month of fasted online gameplay. Listen, I'll be straight up, I feel for him. Like, I definitely feel for the guy. I definitely I think very highly of Lamar, and it sucks that if they are going through a change, well, I mean, it seems like they're changing. I mean, we obviously talked about it on the show yesterday how we think Lamar might be the odd one out and might be the one to go. And he just hasn't been performing. I mean, it just seemed like the last few weeks.
It is what it is, Tom.
It is what it is. But
can I make one more point about these tweets? Like, Lamar also, his numbers in stage 1 and stage 2 weren't like amazing by any stretch either. He was either in the middle or the bottom tier pack in the ARs, and then he just played significantly worse in this stage. So it's not like he was lighting the world on fire. Him and Major Maniac had pretty similar numbers before they made that change. I feel bad for Lamar. I think he brings a lot. I agree, he brings a lot of intangibles, but ultimately, if there is a move being made here, Minnesota's in a position where they can't fuck around. They've got to put their foot to the pedal and start winning some games. Otherwise, they're in very much danger of not making champs this year. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I lost my thought, but I was just gonna say, I mean, I think Lamar's a good player. Like, I by any means, I mean, I won an event with this guy, and I've seen this guy do incredible things, and I definitely feel for him because he is a good player. It just hasn't been working for him the last month or two, and I know things have been tough for him with the whole fasting stuff. A lot of people could say whatever they want about excuses and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I don't know if this is the end for him. We'll see where it goes from here. We haven't gotten an official announcement, but I think it's pretty clear that they're bringing in Major Maniac. I mean, I see a lot of people talking about Zinni and Tom Gravity and stuff like that. They're not going to do any of that. They have an AR player on the bench, so why would they not try Major at least first and see how things go?
I also feel for him just because it's right around the corner from potential LAN, and he's been pretty solid on LAN in terms of his placings and stuff like that, and his numbers go up on LAN in my opinion in terms of like how he's traditionally played. It's just a tough situation and tough timing for Rokkr if they do decide to go forward with the change.
I think the issue is, you know, their heart. We talked about it yesterday. Their hardboard game is atrocious, and like their probably goal here is our S&D started to fall off too. Like, we need to right the ship and find the right players so that when we go to stage 4 and stage 5, that we can start to get towards 4th or 5th spot or maybe higher in the standings, because you really, really, really do not want to be in 7/8. That is going to put you with some very tough matchups, and you're not going to have. I don't know what the format is for champs. I don't know if it's been announced yet or not. But ultimately, you know, I think Minnesota's definitely got some work to do to hold on their champ spot.
They have a lot of work to do, honestly, and I'm curious to see if listen, they haven't made any official announcements yet, but I'm pretty sure, I'm like 80% positive they're going to bring in Major Maniac here. We'll see how it all falls into place, and we'll see what ends up happening with the squad. There's not really too much to say on it, guys, other than me personally, just knowing Lamar and just knowing who he is as a person and a player. I just feel bad for him. How can you not? Especially someone who's had a very long career, and not knowing what your future holds or where you're going to end up is not easy to go through. So at the end of the day, you know, show love to somebody who's been a staple to the scene, right? He's been a staple to the scene. He's been here for a really long time. So just shout out to Lamar, aka Accuracy. And I wish the best for you, man. I wish the best for you. And just best of luck to you moving forward, and best of luck to Minnesota. There's really nothing else to say. Anybody in the chat that have some questions, we'll take
like 2 questions.
We'll take 2 questions, and then Ben will try and hit a putt in front of 9,000 people. Let's see if the pressure gets to him. I have a feeling Ben is gonna whiff tonight. But we'll absolutely see.
Okay, no faith.
I think tonight you're gonna whiff it. But we'll see what happens. What can Dallas do? Better question. What can Dallas do? Listen, man, I don't know what the fuck Dallas can do. First of all, I don't know why they got rid of Hook to begin with. That was weird to me. And in terms of what to do now is
2-person change.
Buy out Big Wake from Florida would be step 1 for me if they. But then I don't know what step 2 is after that.
2-person change. Period.
Yeah, maybe it needs to be a 2-person change. But at the end of the day, we'll see. Because of right now, it's just not working. And I'll be very curious to see if they stay together. Because I just don't see with the performance they just had. It was the first time they placed outside of the top 4. So I just don't see them sticking together. But we'll see. And I also feel for Fellow. Because I don't think Fellow is a bad player. I think Fellow is actually a good player. I just think the composition of the team right now, the overall team is just not working as a whole. And I think the one thing that made that team scary was XEO as a unit and as a squad and the way they worked off each other and their play styles and just the way that they played the game. And now that they don't have that, it doesn't matter how good of a player you bring in. I just feel like you're messing up the whole chemistry and vibes of the team. And yes, there's probably a lot of other internal problems that the team might have had that we might not know about or we can't talk about. But I personally would have put those things to the side and kept the team together. But it is what it is. It's too late now. Now Hookah's on 100T. And listen, man, shit's in the fucking fan. I'm still a little confused as to why that happened. I see some people saying Sib to Dallas. Listen, I don't know what's going on with Sib or how he's not been picked up yet. But Sib to Dallas just doesn't make sense because Crim6 was just roasting him a fucking month ago, literally screaming at the kid in 8s. And I've talked to Porter before, and I don't know if he's Sib's biggest fan. But if it was up to me, I would 100% get Sib on a team. And I also think Sib's attitude has been completely fine. I don't think...
What's up?
We haven't heard much from Sib on his attitude because he's been fine. And he was obviously said some things and done some things, but at the same time he was 18. And I think back in the day when people were 18 and a lot of the pros now, I mean, me and Parasite were going at it when we were 18. Me and Parasite, and now we're in the fucking call right now acting like normal human beings because we just grew up a little bit and we stopped being fucking assholes. I see somebody saying stop the cap. I don't know why. I'm not capping. I'm just saying it how it is.
Let's take one more question, then we can bounce.
But yeah, let's take one more question. Do you think the league should allow Empire to have 5 players on a team? We can answer another question, but what do you mean? Isn't there 5 players on the team already? Like, I'm confused. They have 4 players in a sub. Ben, what are you eating over there? What the fuck are you eating? I was asking you a question. You can't even answer. I'm confused by that question. But I see so many people talking about Study's piece. I did really like the piece with Study and his brother, just talking about their family a little bit and just kind of how he got to where he is. And it was definitely an amazing piece and definitely got a little bit emotional for sure.
Yep.
But is there any questions? Is there any questions, Ben, that catches your eye? The chat's moving so fast; it's so hard to keep up.
I saw a question say, "What team do you think is going to get the 8th spot at champs?" Why don't you go ahead, Tom? I'll link you the standings while we do this, so people can see this. Give me a second to get that pulled out.
No, you're good. You're good. You send them over to me. What was the question? Who's gonna get the 8th seed at champs?
Yeah, so let me walk through this as you pull this up. So we're gonna walk through the standings right now. Atlanta Faze is in first at 265 points. They'll probably be first or second or third by the end of this. Dallas is second in 210, and they're gonna lose a lot of ground on folks. Third right now is New York at 180, Toronto at 175, OpTic Chicago at 160, and they'll obviously get some points as well with
Wait, these
Toronto,
are the
New York.
updated points?
No, these are not updated as of these are updated as of the end of the last week of stage 3. This is not updated in terms of the major.
Okay.
Because it's points you get per level of major.
Because I was gonna say you told me Paris was chalked yesterday, but by this it doesn't look like they're chalked.
Well, I mean Paris is chalked because London's gonna jump them now. I think looking at this standings, the 8th spot is like completely wide open. I don't think Florida is very good. LAG could like actually sneak in this 8th spot.
100%.
Paris is not playing well. Seattle's not playing well. London looked decent. Personally, for me, I'm going to say Florida's going to hold on to the 8th spot, but I think London's going to make a charge here and get another good placing at the next event and make things very interesting going into stage 5 in terms of that last spot. But, I don't know if you agree with me on that.
I agree with you. I think the 8th spot, I personally think it's going to stay exactly how it is. I think it's going to stay exactly how it is. I don't think we're going to see. I think it could get a little bit mixy. I think if anybody is going to fight for that 8th spot, it could be LA Gorillas. I think they might make a run or might do something to sneak in there and grab that spot. But for the most part, I can see it staying how it is. But we'll see. At the end of the day, we'll see. We really don't know what's going to happen. And like we always say, sometimes it's hard to predict what's going to happen between some of these teams, especially on the bottom half, because it's just on such a day-to-day basis. You never know what the fuck's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think we could call it there. I think it was a great show. I think it was a really good show. I want to thank Parasite for coming on. Parasite, I love having you on. I think you know a lot.
It, bro.
I think you're a staple in the scene. You know a lot about the game, and people love having you on as well. So Just thank
Thanks,
you for
brother.
coming on, man. And it's always a pleasure. Make sure you guys go check out Parasite's social handles and stuff. He was also streaming today. So go check out
Thanks,
at Parasite on Twitter, twitch.tv/Parasite. Whenever he's streaming, you know, go show him some love. And just thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. And then, of course, as always, I want to thank Ben J. Nasim for coming on today. It's always a pleasure. But Ben, before we get off, you already know what's going on. Go hit a fucking putt. Yeah, go take a fucking putt. Why not? Give me a putt. Show me what you got. Let's see if you choke here and pull up your pants. He's got the slippers on with the no socks. Let's see what he can do. And I'm going to need hand motions because I can't see the fucking hole. So let me know if you make it and don't lie to me, asshole. He steps up to the green. Did he sink it? Did he miss it? What's going on with your fucking lighting in there? Did you make it?
Yeah, it's cash money time.
Nah, you're lying. We can't see shit.
No, he made it. He made it because it's going down the railing.
Yeah, you're right. If it goes down the railing, that's how I always figured out. But let's go. Ben J. Nasim does not crumble under the pressure today, guys. He was able to sink the putt in front of 9,000 people.
Listen,
so shout out to Ben J. Nasim.
And I'm going to go golfing in the morning. Unfortunately, one of my participants backed out.
No.
But we'll have a nice little 7 a.m. tee time tomorrow morning, get the early morning vibes, and I'll be back here for the matches starting. Excited to chat tomorrow about whoever is the victor of Major 3.
Listen, guys, make sure on YouTube you guys subscribe, all right? Go to youtube.com/Zoomaa with 2 A's. ZOOMAA. Go hit that subscribe button. We're close to 60,000 subscribers. I'll be uploading everything to YouTube. So if you guys missed anything, you guys can just go watch back the VOD on YouTube. I'll also keep the VOD up today. So if you guys want to hit that sub button, you can go back and watch the VODs. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to go check out anchor.fm/theflank to see every audio site that we're on. Ben's been uploading the flank to a lot of different podcast sites like Spotify and Apple and all kinds of fucking things, right? And then at the end of the day, just thank you guys for watching, man. I fucking love you guys. Oh, and go follow the Twitter account, guys. Twitter.com/theflank. Joel's spamming it in the chat, all right? At the flank on Twitter. We made a Twitter account. We're going to start pumping out content on there. So just make sure you guys go follow that and show it some love. And as always, guys, just thank you so much for watching. Thank you for an incredible stream, an incredible watch party, an incredible show. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the next one. Have a good day.
Peace.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Sound muted.